See, I'm all over the place today, but yeah, we're good. Me and Trey had our big interview with the Vedic astrologer, which will be out soon. It's crazy, but
that person, that guy.
No, what's her name?
Oh, it's a girl. Okay.
She's awesome.
Vanuja Ama.
Yeah.
She's from the Vedantic tradition, so it's all like super sattvic Vishnu energy. Like it's the first kind of guru figure that we've talked to who has like, her teaching was all about just universal love and healing. So her guru passed down like 300 plus different healing techniques where she can like heal physical injuries in parts of the body with just her hands and things like that. So yeah, we just had an interview with her. It's really cool.
That's looking awesome.
I can't wait to hear that.
This is definitely our best episode. Oh, we've had some good ones, but that was a special one. She was just one of these people that's just out of this world. She showed us a picture of her guru, and she was like, "Guess how old she is?" And it was, or he is. And the guy looked really old. Like I was like, he doesn't even look. He looks like so like beyond age. And we were like 130, 100, whatever. 800. She said 820 or something like that. Years old. I was like, wow.
Oh, that's wild.
That's wild.
Yeah.
800. Oh my god.
Guys.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something about the fire, and you said about Saturn, right? So the Saturn is generational planet, and in my opinion, it's not going to make a major difference in that sense. So it's moving so slowly. So yes, it will make a difference in your own chart, but then I think if you count the fire, earth, air, and the water, it's not gonna I think that the personal planets till Jupiter will be the major ones that you should count, and then see where you're missing out. Which one of them is going to miss out. Because like, for example, we were born in the same more or less like time, so we will have everything in Capricorn there, like Uranus, Saturn and stuff. So if someone has already quite a lot of earth, and then they will just get that earth there extra, it's going to make a heavy earth. Or otherwise somebody with the inner planets missing on earth, and then they will have the Uranus and Saturn and something else in earth. It will look like they have the earth energy, but it's like a generational one. So in their personal trait, they will miss that earth a lot. And I actually am very similar to Trey. I have only one planet in fire, in Sagittarius. So yeah, I'm technically missing fire as well. And I've read a lot about it, that you need to be next to the fire and eat spicy food, which will actually balance out your fire energy missing out.
Ooh.
Because the spicy food gives the fire in your body, and the fire itself, the candle, even the candle, lit candle, any type of fire, anything with the fire energy, it's gonna balance out your fire that you're missing. And normally, if you're missing fire, you will not be willing to actually consume that fire. So like if you don't have a lot of planets in fire, or even in the fire houses, which in Trey's case is not really going to be, because he has 2 planets in the first house already, and probably even more in fire houses. So like me personally, I was very far away from the spicy food when I came to live in London. And I started to read about it a lot, and I knew that I'm missing a lot of fire. So I started to slowly introduce myself to spicy foods, add a little bit of spices, and I actually quite evolved in a time. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually quite like spicy food right now, and I'm very sure that it balances out that missing fire in my chart. But I was very far away from it. I was very like, no, I don't like spicy food. I'm not gonna have it. I'm not gonna try it even, because when you lack it, you will most likely not want it. If you have a lot of water, you will always want to stay next to the water. You will always enjoy water and things like that. People who have a lot of air, I recognize they love jumping, like they like to do parachutes, like stuff like that. That's what I recognize personally from those who has a lot of air. I don't know if you have ever experienced something like that, of check people who have their charts, but when they have a lot of air, they're super crazy with any type of air energy. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, especially sitting around a fire. Like when it was winter, we have a backyard here in London, so I just would build fire pits. And now if I had any anxiety, it would just completely just ground that, and it would just, I'd feel so calm afterwards.
Oh, really quickly, Payal, you have no fire either. Just saying, that's the one you lack is fire. So you're part of this this team with Agnia and Trey.
Okay.
Agnia and Trey.
And I feel
like I'm surprised she doesn't have fire.
Payal. Well, it's because she's Scorpio rising and she has Mars in Scorpio, just like you, Trey. Or wait, no, I'm stupid. She has Mars in Pisces. But she does have, sometimes that Cancer energy, like it's cardinal. It's what I've seen. Like sometimes Cancers, they just have a lot of life, and you're like, whoa, I thought Cancers were supposed to be more, they can just be full of life. I don't know what to say.
Mars in Scorpio?
She has Mars in Pisces, but Scorpio rising.
But
Trey does, yeah.
I
do
Mars
too.
in Scorpio.
And my sun in Cancer, the water.
Yeah, it's intense.
It really is. And I have a question for Agnia. So does Jupiter count as a personal planet?
Yeah, I would definitely count it. I don't know about the guys what they think about it, but Jupiter, in my opinion, like it's very quickly moving. It's not like Saturn. So yeah, it will be taking longer than other planets like Mercury, Venus, and Mars, but it's
1 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
It changes signs every year. Saturn changes signs every 3 years. So it's like, if you're in high school, for example, every 3 grades, it's changing a Saturn sign. So it's like you kind of always are around people of the same Saturn. But Jupiter, it's like each grade's a different Jupiter sign. Every 12 years, it goes around the zodiac. So it is enough. Yeah, it's kind of like looked at as a middle planet, but yeah, I definitely would say Jupiter counts.
Wait,
too.
so Kendra, with that future chart, it said Jupiter was in Sagittarius. So it's again Sagittarius this year.
Yes, well, that's your time lord for this year up until your birthday of this year. Then it'll switch to Saturn in the 3rd house. But yeah, your time lord was going to be Jupiter, and it's in the 2nd house. So your values on how you expand and expanding and opportunities, philosophies, like all those Jupiter things. Yeah.
What is this Time Lord that you just said?
Oh, we were doing some separate little project.
Sounds so cool.
Yeah, no, it's Hellenistic astrology, but it's really complicated to explain. But yeah, it's basically like a thing that will be like the planet that activates, and the slice of your chart where your natal planet there is as well will be activated for that time period, which is from solar return to solar return.
Oh, okay.
Like birthday to birthday. Yeah. No, I totally agree with what she was saying with the fire. I have so much of the fire signs, even with my personal planet. I mean, just out to Jupiter, it's just fire and earth. That's it. So I love spicy foods, and I've always felt calm near a fire since I was a child. Like I love sitting next to fire. So
like catching things on fire.
Thank you, Kendra.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I did put like Vaseline around a basketball and then put a ton of hairspray on it and lit it on fire. And my mom came outside and was like, "What are you doing?" It was like me and some of my friends were teenagers. We're like, "It's not gonna burn it. Look, the Vaseline's protecting it."
Amazing.
I am raising a pyro.
Did anyone else have curiosity? Like you wanted to touch fire? Like I would see a lit candle and I would want to touch it.
Oh yeah, I was always getting in trouble for leaving my candles lit in my room or underneath drapes or in the bathroom, or like I've always been into the fire. So.
When I was on a mushroom trip, my candle was about to go out, and I had just come out of meditation, and I was like, no, I don't want my flame to go. So I tried to put it onto my finger,
Oh my, what?
on mushrooms. I tried to hold the fire on my finger and it did not work. And I had a big blister that started to smell after a while because I kept holding it there. I was like, come on. And it was like burning and burning. I was like, come on, come on. But it didn't work.
Oh my God. No, but I agree with that whole like what I was saying. I don't have any water then. If we're going out to Jupiter, I have no water and I have no air. And so then I've tried to balance that with I make time and space for me, and I go like spend like an hour and a half in the bath and I do meditation. I like, and the whole process with candles, of course, and then my bath salts, my oils, and like I try to give myself that space and time, and I try to like soak in the water or do a lot of my meditations in the shower or in the bath, incorporate more water into my chart.
So do we count the ascendant in this? Okay.
Yeah, but your chart, you only have the ascendant, right? Like, because your ascendant's Capricorn, but then everything else is in the three other elements. So I would still say, like, if you only have one planet and it's the ascendant, which is, it is important,
No,
obviously.
Well, because I've only got 1 water, 1 earth, 2 fire, 3 air in that.
1 water, really?
Just my Pisces Venus.
Oh, okay. So I mean, maybe it'd be good to know about what to do with not much water and not much earth.
I live right by the ocean, so I spend a lot of time there.
I do too. I try to go to the lake all the time or go to the beach. Yeah, me too. And I'm only Scorpio rising. That's the only water I've got as well.
Yeah, I live in the bathtub as well. Like, I find anytime I'm stressed, anything, I'm just like, fuck it. Like, even if I don't need to like actually bathe, I'm like, if I need to process anything, I just run the tub and I just sit there and I'm just like, like brain gone. And then I can finally get out and be a little bit grounded afterward. So,
yes. I even listen to sounds of water. Like I used to sleep to the ocean sounds and the rain.
Me too. Every night, I listen to rain and ocean sounds. Like super
this
loud.
Sounds like I'm out in nature. Like it was just, I loved it.
Whale sounds.
Yep. Joints in the bathtub. Joints bring my earth element, like the marijuana brings my earth element, and the water, well, I'm fucking literally sitting in the water. So.
Well, one thing, so with water, another thing with water, if you're lacking, or if you have friends, or if you do charts for people, is that lacking water, it's not necessarily like the person's like doesn't have a heart at all. It's just like compassion might not come as easily, right? So maybe when people who lack water are stressed, I feel like no one in this, I'm be very surprised if anyone in this group had no water. But it's like you can really benefit from like figuring out different practices of like, for example, putting yourself in other people's shoes. Like what can you do that gets you in your heart chakra? How can you gain compassion for people? Maybe we all have different strategies. Maybe it's watching a movie that leads to an emotional reaction for you. Even though I'm a Pisces, I still, even the Vedic astrologer, she was able to read me. She's like, your heart chakra is a little bit. That's always kind of been a thing for me. That's probably my main chakra that gets the most unbalance is the heart chakra. So it's like, even I am a water sign, but you wouldn't think that would be the case, but like it is. So just finding ways you can be creative to think about compassion, right? Because that's what water is about, compassion, intuition also, like how can you work on your third eye? Maybe it's meditation can be great. Like if you're lacking, like Gabby, lacking water and earth, because like meditation gets you in your body. That's a huge part of earth energy, right? Being embodied. So yoga is so great for it too. Shout out to Chanel.
I live in my head only.
Right, because like air can make one very like logical, and good at that whole thing. But if you lack the water, you'll sometimes go away from emotion. So it can be great to go into emotion.
I can observe my emotions, but I can't like I have a like hard time like going into the emotions. I find like I feel like I experience my own emotions more objectively. So like I could be fucking distraught and I'm like just calm because I don't know really how to like emote. But then it's like, something can fucking tip me off and then I'm just like bawling. Like I've got no control over my emotions.
Yeah. I'm similar, honestly. Even though I'm a Pisces, but it's like weird. It's like exactly like that. Yeah.
No, I feel that.
Yeah, it's cool that you got the moon for your Time Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a year.
I know, that'll be good for you though. That'll be a
Mhm.
good connection.
Well, I can already feel it. And it's really funny too with the moon because it's like literally the day before my birthday, because my mom lives like 4 hours away, but like my mom came over and she's been like here with me, well, like with my grandmother, but like close enough that I've been seeing her a lot like since my birthday. So it's like
Yeah.
mommy moon energy.
Yeah. And the grandmother too, you know.
Yeah. Well, my mom's a Cancer moon and rising, and my grandmother's a Cancer moon. So.
Oh yeah, that's very moon energy.
Yeah.
What is this? So is this annual perfections? I wish I would have totally joined this if I would have had my Instagram working. So this is annual perfections?
Yeah, we're basically just starting it that way, and then we're gonna all meet up at the 4 quarters, like the solstices and the equinoxes, and we're gonna have like journaled like what stuff we've seen in our lives with this Time Lord, you know, during that time.
Oh shit.
That
so
way
it's like looking at the whole, it's basically like you're looking at the Lord of the house that you're progressing in for the year. Is that it?
It's the house and like the planet that rules that house. And so it basically is the math that they used to use in Hellenistic times that they would use for timing events, because this was how, if it's activated as your natal planet, like mine is Jupiter in the 2nd house this year until August. And so all of my Jupiter stuff, any kind of transits to my natal Jupiter or transiting Jupiter or that house or, you know, any of that kind of stuff is going to be highlighted because my Jupiter is activated by this Time Lord for this amount of time. And so.
Oh, I see. So it becomes more emphasis. So it's just really quickly. So it's based on that wheel, right? It's like if you search annual perfection wheel. Okay, this is
AstroSeek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have it on my computer. So yeah, mine's 8th house, my son's 8th house, and it's Pisces. So I would look at my sun and I would look at Neptune/Jupiter, basically, right?
I don't know. It always highlights it, and it's traditional because it's Hellenistic. It's back like when the Vedics were doing their stuff, so they didn't know about those outer planets. So I think it would be Jupiter for you if it's Pisces. Yeah.
Oola.
Jupiter.
Here, I paste the link, Jesse, for you. Oh, that's a long link.
That's a hell of a link.
Yeah.
I think that's
what a beautiful
my one.
Yeah.
Wait, yes. Okay, I'm talking to myself. So this is a good link. Yeah, I have to look at this. Oh, okay, so I see they made a whole chart for you. Oh, okay, I got it. Got it.
Yeah, so we were trying to, like, as a group, like intuitively try to write down like what we feel from this, or try to like reach out and connect to this type of energy, or try to, you know, and then just kind of document it, and we kind of just meet and talk about it, and you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Well, count me in.
Okay.
Would have done it.
I want to join too.
You want to do it too? Yeah.
I'm putting my thing in right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll add y'all when we're done in the Instagram. I made like a group chat so we can all decide when we meet and stuff. Yeah.
So what do I put for date for perfections?
I was using March 20th because we're starting everything on 0 Aries. Yeah, we're trying to like start on 0 Aries so that we can kind of like have a full astrological year of like, and so your Time Lord will change on your birthday. So it'll go one sign over and highlighted to the next for the next year, you know.
Okay.
So my birthday is Thursday. So Thursday is when it's going to shift for me.
Oh my gosh.
Because right now it says 7. No, okay, never mind. It says 8th. Okay, yeah, so it's already shifted for me. So Jupiter, 8th house. Wow, I'm going to become rich or something maybe.
Mine is the moon as well, ruler of the year, moon.
Okay, that's good. You and Gabby should work on this stuff together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Y'all both are the moon ones, and I think Chanel and Xiomara were Mars, and Scorpio and Aries, and then me and Trey had Sag, Jupiter. Dave had Venus and Libra.
And then it says activated, perfected house, 9th house in Cancer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it'll be like through that filter of that house too, because see, like my Jupiter is my 2nd house ruler, right? So Jupiter doesn't normally rule the 2nd house, but it does in my chart. So this is how it's like really down to everybody's specific age. Because if you look on that dial, your age is in that gap. That's why it changes on your birthday.
Oh yeah, it does. Oh, very cool.
So
Okay.
your age is on that number. So everybody's a different age. So we can kind of, you know, go from there.
Very
That's
cool.
so cool.
Very cool.
Wow. Wait, where'd mine go? What the heck? Oh my God, it disappeared. Well, whatever. Cool. That's awesome. I'm excited to learn more about that.
Yeah.
Where were we? Okay.
So inner planets.
Anyone else?
Yes, inner planets.
Yeah.
Who lacks water, or I mean, who lacks air?
Not me. You want some?
Not. Yeah, same.
I don't know. Do I lack it? Hold on. Let me try to check right now.
You know what's interesting though is like, I don't know. I haven't thought about this deep, but like for me, all my air is in Aquarius. I don't have nothing Libra and nothing 7th house and nothing Gemini, nothing 3rd house. So, and I have a shit ton of Aquarius and everything in the 11th house. So it's like, yeah, I have air, but I only have Aquarius.
Well, that's
air.
why you do this stuff though. You know, like this is like your Aquarius stuff. Yeah. Like your community.
Well, I'm super Aquarius. Yeah. Honestly, another thing we can talk about another time, guys, that I still probably, and I'm not sure, Kendra, how much you know about this, but the Draconic chart. The Draconic chart is like a way, apparently, like it's telling you about more about who you were before you came into this incarnation. Because the birth chart we each have is not who we are and who we've been in every past life, right? It's like more like you pick the birth chart based on it's a mix of things, but really like what's going to make you grow, right? So like someone, you know, maybe in my next life I'll be a quadruple Taurus or something. I don't know. What's your view on do you have a view on the Draconic chart?
It's probably unpopular because I don't like the Draconic chart, and a lot of people do, but I really personally think it's taking astrology and just like it's one person who came up with this too. It wasn't like cultures over years and whatnot.
That's what I said. That's what I said right away. It seems too simplified, doesn't it?
To me, it does, and it's one person's perspective. Like I have no problem with every astrologer doing it their exact way because that's how humans work. But to go out and say that everybody has to do it this way and this is how it works for everybody, I feel like that's where she was mistaken. Kind of, you know what I mean? Because I don't know. I've used it a couple of times. I just never resonated with it. So maybe there's something wrong with me. I don't know. Maybe it's me. That's why I said it's an unpopular
it's weird.
opinion, but
no, I'm not set on it yet. And it's kind of weird, guys. So basically if you look at your normal birth chart right now, everything looks exactly the same. Like where the planets are, it just shifts the ascendant based on the nodes and some, so it's like, it takes like your north node, it makes everyone's north node 0 Aries and 0 Libra, I think. So it basically shifts everything. So for example, instead of Pisces sun, I have a Taurus sun. Instead of Leo rising, I have Libra rising. And my moon's Aquarius, which is the only part of that makes sense. But I was just gonna say that I've always felt more like an Aquarius moon. Well, actually no, Sag moon totally, but like my soul feels very Aquarius moony. And that's the only part of that Draconic chart that I was like, this totally makes sense. And Trey's was amazing. Trey's was Pisces Aquarius. Lucky fucker.
See, I thought that my Draconic was right on. Like I was sold at the beginning, but once I started using it with other people is where I was like, okay, I feel like there's some bias because I want this to work because I'm the astrologer, you know, I want to have a new technique. And that's when I started like changing my view on it. But I mean, what works for whoever, man, is cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool to see if y'all had some good luck with it.
Yeah, I've never used it in an actual reading. I've never really
What's the sidereal chart?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like if I use a different chart from tropical, I use Vedic. Like I use sidereal.
It's a Vedic chart, Trey.
It's the Vedic one. It's the one that takes into account the wobble, right?
Yeah, the 20, the Earth's, the change. It's the one that's 23 or something, 23 and a half degrees difference. We were talking about today.
It's because the Earth wobbles a bit when it rotates, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So every 80 years, I think it moves 0.1. So it's like, I hate this is astronomy, but it's like, okay, for Western astrology, it's based on the idea that every year at the same day, we start spring. That's the 0 Aries point, right? Vedic astrology is based on the whole idea of the central sun in Kali Yuga, and that the earth is actually, there's a precision of the equinoxes that's very slight, but each year there's a tiny, tiny bit where if we look at where we are and we look at a fixed star, right? Let's say like a fixed star like Regulus. Regulus is changing at a tiny rate. It's 29 Leo right now, but maybe in a few hundred years it'll be like, yeah, it's moved to Virgo. Okay, so it's like it's moving very slowly. So that's why, you know, probably, and I'll be honest, Vedic astrology is probably, you know, most accurate for predictions. I haven't learned it. Maybe I will one day. It's where I was saying, but it's unbelievably accurate.
Yeah.
And probably because it does take this into account.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Western's still accurate in its own ways.
The Egyptians and the Mayans also took that the precession of those equinoxes into account as well.
Yes, because they measure from the fixed stars versus from the like farmer's almanac, when we on Earth perceive equal day and night, which is a whole different thing, right? Because then there's humans involved versus like the observation of the planet and then markers in the sky. So yeah, I use both. I mean, now that I've done it for so long, I think that the Vedics chart is a lot more focused on the moon being like the central focus instead of it being the sun, like the tropical astrologers do. So in that sense, I kind of go with that, you know, filter of perspective and look at it that way. But I don't know. I'm more about that than I am the draconic charts. If I'm going to run a different kind of chart like that.
You know, when I was first learning about astrology, we were saying this in an interview, like I was really like not sure which one I wanted to do. I really liked Vedic, and I was reading books of both of them to get started. I was like, this is too much. There's no way I can teach myself both. And I only decided Western because I'm living in America now. Don't see myself living in Asia. I think I'll probably live in Europe. But I do think like Vedic is unbelievable. I have learned, like, you know, I've spent over a year learning it. I would never do a chart for someone else, but it's unbelievable. Like, you know, the dashas that they have, it's like basically these time periods. And I swear to God,
Nakshantras.
Well, the dashas. So the dashas, it's like, so I'll give you guys an example. And this is like, maybe if you guys get a Vedic reading, they'll tell you this. No transit in Western astrology has anything on dashas. So for me, I stayed in my Venus dasha, which is like each dasha has a long period of time where you're under the influence of a certain planet in your birth chart, right? So for me, I have what's called in Vedic, by my Vedic astrologer, Katerina, a curse on my Venus, like a karmic curse. So I had like my whole adult life, I had terrible luck in love. I was the worst. Like, I swear, Trey knows, I was horrible. You know, like there's no way I could ever meet a girl I liked where I lived. It had to be a girl where I was traveling. And I would get clingy. I would do all the worst things that I look back onto now. And I'm just like, I was fucking awful, like just horrible. You don't even know, because you look at me now, you wouldn't be able to tell because I'm so different. And the reason I'm different is because I've changed to my sun, right? Last year I entered my sun Mahadasha. So I'm way more about my life purpose.
Right.
And my focus used to be relationships.
Yeah.
Because it was Venus. But it was a cursed Venus, so I loved relationships, so I was horrible at them, and I couldn't figure them out. And now I'm in my sun, and I care about relationships, but it's not my focus is my mission, right? Because I'm only in my sun for 5 years. And it's very interesting to like learn about that and to see like, you know, you might just be, and they have like you can break down your dashas. So like you can be like in, you know, in sun moon for a few months, then sun Venus, and sun Mars, whatever. So it's very, very interesting.
It gets very, very down to like the nitty gritty. I mean, it is so detailed. That's why I was saying I don't know a lot about that Hellenistic astrology. I've been encouraging myself to learn more about that, but that was going on at the same time that the Vedics was, right? Because these methods we can use as tropical astrologers, but they weren't made for us. They were made for Hellenistic, you know, Roman, Greek, you know, people during that same time period. But it's so awesome to like just look at those systems and just admire the ability that they were able to come up with that. I mean, it's just amazing. It's so amazing. It's so crazy.
My draconic chart says that my sun is Pisces. I don't acknowledge this as real. Like, no,
Hey,
thank
get on
you.
my team. Yes.
There's nothing in
Yes.
Aquarius. There's 3 freaking planets in Pisces, but there's 4 planets in Leo. So I'm like, that part I could see as legitimate, but the rest of it is like, no. I
You know
disown
what?
this.
You just showed me, Chanel, you just somehow showed me why I now think a draconic chart's bullshit. Think about it. If you have a stellium, imagine like in this life you have 4 planets, a stellium where you have 3 or 4 more planets. That's what you have, Kendra, right? Your stellium is your name. So are you really going to tell me that because you have 4 or 5 planets in one sign in this life that your soul has that in every life? Because in the draconic chart you would have a stellium. So what does your stellium become in? What sign does it become in? Kendra.
Hold on, let me go see. I'd have to go look it up unless anybody's got my chart on hand right now.
Oh, I can pull it.
Tell me, I can put it in on my. I need your chart anyways.
August 16th, 1983. I'm old. Don't judge.
I'm
Your
1990.
sun is in
What time?
Gemini and ascendant Leo, and your moon Virgo in Draconic.
Andrews, Texas. Did you need the place or no?
Yeah, I need the place.
Andrews,
Or
Texas.
the time and place.
Okay, 2 p.m. on the dot.
Andrews.
2 p.m.
Wow.
Andrews, Texas. I should be an 18-degree Scorpio. Rising.
Who's Andrew? Andrews.
Andrews.
Why isn't it working?
Yeah, it looks like
Oh, I
this
see what I did
stellium's
wrong.
in Gemini on your Draconic.
It says I'm a Gemini.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would get that confused with I already have Mercury in Virgo in my tropical chart. So I feel like a Gemini a lot. And I've got my North Node in Gemini. So that one's not too hard to.
I don't know. If I was like an old astrologer, I just, maybe like gotten a divorce or something. I just want to make a few bucks to pay back all the money I lost. Maybe I would just be like, what's a theory I could create? Okay, so if we switch the nodes to 0 degrees and we say that that's about your past lives, I don't know. I mean, I could see it. That's kind of what I felt.
It's a smart idea. It's just, I feel like because it was just one person's idea. That's why I need more. I'm like, I need more. Again, Mercury and Virgo. Need more.
It's like,
need more
it's like that. It's like that white guy who translated Rumi's poetry without knowing what Rumi wrote it in a Sanskrit, some of it in Sanskrit, and he translated it, but he didn't speak Sanskrit, so he just literally he read the dictionary for the different definitions and made his own interpretation of the poems, and then kind of they became a lot more sexual.
Well, he was trying to put something out there hidden under something else.
Wait, I'm so confused. Wait, Kendra, so your stellium you speak of is the Sagittarian one, right? In your normal chart. Okay. Yeah. So everything's correct. Okay, so you have Jupiter, Uranus,
but that's got
Moon.
A lot of outer planets.
Yeah,
like
so
it's all outer planets with the moon. So
it's like if I had one Capricorn planet. Yeah, that's true. So South Node I think has a lot of meaning, because this is my theory on the South Node, guys. Yeah, so your South Node, I came up with this the other day, I randomly think, I don't know, it just came to me, so maybe it's true. But okay, so I'm a Leo rising, but I feel like so Leo, like not like I feel so Leo, but I just get that sign. But I've met a lot of other Leo risings and done charts for them where it's like they don't really feel like Leo, and like they don't really relate to it a lot. Some of them have even been like, I don't feel Leo at all. They're like surprised to know about it. And my view is that because if your South Node is in the same sign as like your sun, moon, rising, or any planet that's prominent in your chart, I think that has a lot more significance for you, like really understanding that planet, that sign, than if you just have your South Node, or if you just have your ascendant in the sign, or just have your South Node somewhere. So
I agree with that 100%. It just means that you're comfortable in this outfit, like this type of vibe this lifetime, because you've done it, especially if it's your sun or moon.
Yeah.
Your
Also,
South
Kendra,
Node is Leo, Jesse?
Yeah, my south node is like in the 12th house in Leo at 15 degrees or 14 degrees, and then my ascendant's like 28 degrees. So it's like, yeah, it's in there. Is your south node Leo? Your north node is
No,
Virgo, right?
my south node is Virgo. Yeah.
Or north node. I have your chart as south node is Pisces, right? North node's Virgo.
Oh yeah, duh.
Conjunct Venus.
What's my south node?
Database plugin, Trajano Grady chart. Your south node
I
is
thought
Libra.
it was Libra.
Libra.
Wait, no, it's Aries.
Libra.
It's Aries. Aries, Trey.
Oh, okay.
Aries south node.
Okay, so North Node is Libra then. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a warrior for. So if you look at your south node, like we can all do it. You know, Aries 6th house for Trey. What does that say about past life? That he was a Aries warrior, 6 houses of service. So it's like, and also whatever axis your south node and north node are on, right? Axis being like the two opposite signs, which all have a theme. That's speaking about an extremely important karmic theme, right? So for Trey,
Yeah.
Aries Libra is about relationships. It's like, how can I not be too codependent, but not too independent? How can I find that good balance in relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
Yeah, mine is 2nd and 8th.
2nd and 8th.
Sagittarius. Yeah, Sagittarius, South Node, conjunct Neptune, and then North Node in Gemini in the 8th.
So yeah, you've got the mix of the Gemini, Sagittarius energy, and then the Taurus Scorpio. So it's like a lot about learning, higher, lower minds, but also that Taurus Scorpio energy, which is super interesting. North Node in the 8th house. It's really fascinating, like very transformational.
It's trining my Saturn-Pluto conjunction.
Oh wow.
My node in Libra. Yeah, it's at the very end of Libra.
Interesting. You have that mega midheaven sun. Very cool.
Yeah.
Finally have your charts. All right. Well, I don't know. We kind of got a little off the track of the train, but tying it back to I
love your new sayings that are like slightly off, but like it's not.
I'm forgetting English, dude. I don't forget. I'm forgetting
the
English.
track of the train instead of the train ran off the tracks. Slightly.
When you live in a country like I live in, it's like people speak English, but there's always like little small errors like that. But sometimes I kind of like making errors.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like Trailer Park Boys with the like Rickyisms. It's like there's a one. It's like what is it? I can't even remember what the real one is. 2 birds, 1 stone. Because he's like, oh, it's like getting 2 birds stoned at once. Like
that show's awesome.
That's from show. Where I live.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Northeast Canada.
I used to live like right by their where they used for the police department. That was like literally right by my mailbox.
Jeez.
I love when other people from other countries speak say their sayings in English, and you're just like, what? Like that makes no sense.
Yeah, I've been saying dumb, like just stupid sayings. I'm just trying to like make up on the way that don't make any sense. I had one the other day. I was talking to my girlfriend and I just couldn't think of the saying. I was like, you can't have your gift without the wrapping. And I said it and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna pretend that makes some sense. And I was like, not really. Yeah, wise man. Kendra, really quickly though, about your draconic chart. Actually, it's kind of interesting because your stellium gets broken up between Virgo and Libra, and the Gemini is your Leo energy. So that your ascendant's Leo. So it's actually not that bad. Your ascendant's 24 Leo. Your sun's in Gemini. Your Venus is in Gemini. It's a very balanced chart actually, with Mars and Taurus, and then you have Virgo moon with Uranus and Jupiter, and then I guess South Node and Neptune and Libra.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, I stay within a couple signs, so it keeps me within those couple signs. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My regular one. So that's why I thought it was something that, oh yeah, I can totally see this, you know. But then when I started looking at other people's charts that weren't so like bundled up like mine was, that's when I started going, I don't know. So I don't know. I guess everybody, you know, what works for them. So.
Yeah, it seems too simplified. I don't think you would have the same alignment of planetary points on your chart in the exact same way in every past life. But who knows? I don't know. I don't want to go too deep in that right now. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
You're a human.
Anyways, yes. So back to the element stuff. Any other thoughts on that? Like, for example, is there anyone that has, I don't think any of us have a lack of air, right?
I don't.
So far, no one.
I don't have any air in my chart or anything in the 3rd or 11th or 7th. I mean, I've got Chiron in the 7th. Yay. That's it. So, I mean, I've got Saturn and Pluto, but if we're not counting those, that's my only air energy, that generational stuff.
So do you have any like remedies or any ways you've worked on having a lack of air?
Breath work, yoga, making space for myself, like putting boundaries up instead of letting people tell me what to do. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And I don't have to tell you why, but this is what I'm doing, you know, like back up, you know, I'm going to go spend an hour in the bath, and like taking time and space for myself have been the things that I've been trying to do with that. My yoga, my breath work, meditation, all of those kinds of things I feel like fall under the air type qualities.
Do you ever find that when you inject more air into your life, that your fire increases?
Yes, and yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And
it's usually when other people around me are very air, they get intellectualizing stuff, and I start getting intellectualizing stuff, and I just won't stop. But I feel like that's that Virgo Mercury thing going on with me. But it plays out that way because that's like my mental, you know what I mean, realm. So it's working at high speed. You know, especially because it's in the 10th house. So it's at the top of my chart where everybody, you know, is going to be talking. It's like an exchange, you know, out in the world, instead of like at the bottom of my chart where it would be more of like an inner dialogue. So I always find it with everybody, you know, within intellectuals in conversation. That's usually what makes me like more excited to want to talk about something, or get me like inspired to start some new project, or to try to investigate something more, research something more. And those are the things that make me passionate. So I feel like that's where it ignites, that is when it's an intellectual thing. Like I just like smart people. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, I love being with fire people in social situations because I lack that fire. So because of the earth, a lot of earth, and then also the mind air, like when someone is getting very fiery in discussions, like, all right, I'm ready. Like, it's like they give me the permission to like jump in and join in the fire. It's like, okay, I hardly get any of this. So I'm going to help burn some of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That really does. That makes a lot of sense. Well, what about Earth? Does anybody lack Earth?
Yes, and I was just thinking about Earth. How another thing I totally forgot to say, is a big part of me missing Earth, especially early, and being a Pisces, maybe some of you guys can relate, is boundaries. And that's another thing that lacking Earth, and I feel like it's kind of been like a lesson, because now I'm like super good with boundaries, and like especially when it comes to like new like who I let in my life and who I don't. But I used to be really, really bad with boundaries and didn't really understand them. I think maybe that's more with like self-respect, I guess. I don't know how that kind of changed. But anyways, like lots of water energy, especially Pisces, the boundaries, like if you have 12th house or Pisces energy, the boundaries tend to just like diminish between you and other people, right? Because Pisces is the last sign, everything's combined. So if you meet people who are very Piscean, they sometimes are very chameleon-like, but they lack that ability to have those boundaries. Like, this is mine, this is me. You can't, that, for example, Earth is very good at that, right? So if you meet people who are super earthy, sometimes they, like, if you have too much Earth, you can be looked at as being, and we'll go into like what it means to have surpluses in a minute. But a surplus of Earth, sometimes you can be overly rigid. You don't want to take risks, right? And people who lack that, it's like, okay, how can I borrow some of that, but not too much, And you kind of start to create, lacking Earth, like start to create routines, right? For me, it's like, I know I need, like for me, also energy, right? For Earth is very grounded in its body. So if you lack Earth, maybe your energy, like if you're not careful, for example, me, I need to work out or I'll go crazy, because if I drink coffee and I don't work out, which I drink coffee every day, what's going to happen? I'm just gonna be super nervous, And it's about kind of planning. It's about planning. Lacking Earth is about planning, understanding your energy, and knowing what it takes to not fall victim to yourself.
I just had a memory of Jesse on a fuck ton of coffee before he worked out. Oh God. He gets like this crazy gremlin.
What do you? No, that doesn't happen anymore, because I'm when was that? What are you talking about?
In Boulder, there was so many times where I'd just like be coming out of my room and you'd like be running down the stairs, and then you'd run into the kitchen, and then you'd poke your head back up and be like, nah, and then you'd run back up the stairs.
What? Really? Damn, that's nice. Nice to know.
How long have you and Jesse known each other?
Fuck, when did we move to
Not that long.
Boulder?
Maybe like 6 years or something. We were roommates. The karma was that I was going to new school in Europa, and I was supposed to have 2 other roommates until the last day when I arrived. They said, we switched you roommates. You only have 1, because we both wanted to have our own room, I think, or something where it's like, what was it? Like we paid more or something. Even we want to have our own space more. And we made that on the, so I got put with Trey like that. So we were roommates right away.
That is so meant to be.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So God is real, guys. God is real.
But Jesse was not the man
he put with friends.
Trey is Jesus. Don't forget that part.
Oh yeah, he does. He's right between Libra and Virgo. Yeah, synchronicities.
Jesse,
they happen, guys.
Jesse made a big change in the first couple months. Like he moved to Boulder, Colorado. Like when I walked in, he was like half drunk with watching football.
Off that rosé, baby.
Rosé? You were drunk?
I was drunk off that rosé. It was awesome.
And he had like maybe 2% inkling of spirituality, and then the amount he absorbed.
That's that rosé.
There, baby.
She's sipping on what I was sipping on.
Y'all are making me want to drink.
Drink.
Bad influence. I'm the bad influence.
There is a box of red wine around here.
Yeah, one day we'll have like a big astrology. I don't know. Off Zoom, it's
alcohol
party.
It would be kind of fun. I haven't drank all year, which is crazy for me. But it would be fun to have a real drunk time on here.
Jess, sometime. We need to do the fucking Zoom call on your birthday and get just like seriously smashed, and maybe there's gonna come out the third entity from us, like that zeitgeist.
I think so.
gonna come out.
I'm definitely funnier when I'm drunk, for sure. I think a lot of people are.
I want to see Jester again.
I become wild.
Oh yeah,
his alter ego. Yeah.
Mine is just super Gabby.
You guys just got a taste of it. But yeah. Anyways, guys, let's talk about surpluses. So this is relevant stuff. Like, you know, this is not just for our charts. It's like we're all going to be. And Trey, what can you actually, before that, Trey, she was saying amazing stuff today about astrology. Like this astrologer. The one thing I walked away from that interview with was like a renewed, just this real deep knowledge that astrology is so important. Like not even just for the astrologer, but for everyone to know, you know. Like she was even telling Trey, you know, you should study astrology deeper. What'd she say about it? Do you remember? It'll be in the interview.
Yeah, she said you should study astrology because once you understand the movement of the planets, you'll start to understand everything else in the world.
Oh yeah, she said it would make everything else in the world easier to understand because once you've grasped this, something like that, right? Look at Vania's cat.
She's like, it's like one of the base level things for like understanding kind of, because I think once you get the patterns in your head, then it's like, you know, it's just like anything. It becomes a subconscious lens for which to perceive the world. So when you tackle problems, when you are just even perceiving reality or nature or anything, you'll start, those patterns will be, you know, those planets will be orbiting your head and you'll be understanding those calculations and getting how it all works.
Yeah, definitely. They are teachers. Like, that's why I put in that group chat thing about the Hellenistic astrology. Like the way that they looked at it back then was more like, this is a sign, not a cause. So how modern day some astrologers will say, oh, this is because of Mars there or Mercury retrograde, or it's like the blame game versus like, these are the signs that we need to realize this is the moment in time for this amount of time that this is active, you know, and like try to get the benefits out of each and every moment versus being a victim to your birth chart, I guess, you know? So.
Yes. Even Edgar Casey, the psychic, was saying this. Yeah, really quickly. Edgar Casey, you guys know Edgar Casey, obviously, right? The famous psychic who's alive in the US, who's just like a random dude who just like would fall asleep and made hundreds of books were written about him or like dictated, where he spoke about tons of subjects from health. And there's one book I have called Edgar Casey on Astrology, and he really talks about how you are not, like, the birth chart is your highest potential evolution. You're not your birth chart. It's just like the birth chart is, and even Danielle sent me something cool about this. Like, it's basically, you could think of the birth chart less about like your destiny, what you're locked to, but more about the highest potential of what could manifest in your highest power and your highest interest in this lifetime. Because I feel like a lot of people, I read on some astrology forum or something, some Facebook group, what was it called? It was like called like chart shame or something. It's like this idea of like chart envy, like envying someone else's birth chart, right? Because you don't like the energies in your own. And yeah, I think that it happens. You know, the Sagittarian Mind on Instagram, he had something about like, you know, instead of like trying to compare your chart to others, you should really think about like the meaning of what it means for you and how you can best get through the challenging aspects. Like when he was speaking more about like difficult charts, right? Because only people who have difficult charts are advanced souls who have incarnated because they're fucking badass as fuck and they know I can fucking do this. So like, that's like for any of you who might have a difficult chart, it's like you're on some advanced shit, you know? You wouldn't have chosen this if you weren't.
Any difficult placement means you've gotten to that point where you can now have difficult. If it was easy, it means you haven't progressed as much, so you are still in the easy realm. When things are difficult, that means you've gotten to that point, you know? And so that's crazy that other people envy someone's chart. I don't want to be anybody but me. I love my birth chart. I love every single place where it's at. And everybody, you know what I mean? Like, you should find something that is beautiful in every single placement. I feel like that's where it's a shift of perspective. Like, you can call it this and blame it and victimize yourself because this is in this planet or this is in this sign. Or you can look at it as, okay, this is an opportunity to show myself what I'm made of and then go out and conquer that, you know?
But I mean, everybody always wants what everybody else has, you know?
I know.
Especially over here in the North America and shit, like everybody's too caught up in what everyone else is doing instead of like seeing what the fuck is right in front of their face. They're like, oh, well, the grass is always greener over there. And it's like, meanwhile, that person's looking at you thinking the same thing. So
that is so crazy. I feel like everybody needs to love themselves exactly how you are. I mean, if you want to change something about yourself so you can love yourself more power to you. But I don't feel like anybody should go outside of that. I don't know. I just get triggered by that because I just see it tear people apart. Like I see so many people, and I'm not trying to be, you know, pointing the finger, but I feel like it's a lot worse with women than it is with men, the envy thing.
Well, totally.
We suck. We're horrible too.
Yeah, I know. And maybe that's because I'm more immersed in the women stuff and I've just seen it tear groups of friends apart and people I love. And it's just sad. It's sad. We can't just love each other for exactly how we are.
Blame the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to look at each other all like we're trees.
Blame Trey. Blame
you,
Trey.
Fuck, sorry guys.
Trey created the patriarchy in a past life. So blame Trey.
God damn it. Yeet him off the island.
It was the one after his Jesus Christ incarnation.
Honestly, with Jesse's Trump chart, I'm pretty sure he's the one that created modern day.
Fuck you, Jesse.
Bad. Question, guys. Does anyone have or want to share anything randomly, like come to your mind? Is there a part of anyone's chart, like your own chart, that you don't like? I'm curious if anyone has anything that, like, you know, beyond, you know, if you want to share.
Well,
if there's a part of your chart that you're just like, I don't fuck with that.
So I wasn't here for the beginning, but I don't know. Did you guys already talk about having a water deficiency?
Not really. We'd love to. I mean, a little bit. We'd love to go into it more.
Yeah, that's me and you.
Yeah, because my only water is Scorpio Mars and Pisces, what is it, South Node, but that doesn't really count. So yeah, I only have one water in my personal placements. So yeah, like having the Aquarius moon, like what Gabby was saying, I definitely have difficulty processing my emotions or knowing why I feel a certain way. Like it's really frustrating. So yeah.
I was going to say you could probably try to amplify that Mars and Scorpio by, like, I don't know, moving somewhere near the ocean and taking up swimming or like surfing. Do what?
I said, come move by me. I live right on the Atlantic Ocean.
I know, right? Yeah, and it's interesting because that's what's perfected in my chart this year. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yours is the Mars. Yeah. Scorpio Mars in the 12th. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe you need to take a trip somewhere and do that, or try. I mean, I know there's like no water in El Paso, guys. Like it's like the desert where Chanel lives. So
dead ass.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that is a desert.
It's
maybe
desert.
You can, like, program your water when you shower and stuff, and kind of like activate and every day.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Just like
you can put crystals.
You can like speak intention and then cleanse yourself because it holds memory. So you can just like take time when it comes down to program to like remove things that are stuck to you, energy that's blocking you, things that are like energetically stuck to, whatever you want to speak to it, and then speak into it like any kind of affirmations or like singing or whatever you want, or like what you want to power up and build up and things like that.
Yeah. I like that.
A singing bowl, a Tibetan singing bowl, and fill it with water, all like 3/4 of the way, and then if you play it around the rim, the water will ripple to the vibration, and it'll like all the molecules of water jump out, and it really like helps tune, and because then you can visually see what the sound vibrations are doing inside your body, and that is that's a great way to tune yourself, because literally the whole world every day when we wake up, we're being untuned. So unless you're living out in nature, then you're pretty good. But if you're in a city or if you're in a place surrounded by like electrical waves and everything, you got to be waking up and tuning yourself every day. So you got to find a way to do that, or else you're just going to sound like a broken cord all the time.
Yeah. It's a great analogy.
Thank you for those ideas.
So I'm gonna fill it with water and see how that looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me also read what it, did I already read this? For water, it says, compassion is not your strong suit. You may turn to your head instead of your heart for answers. But if you lack water, work on tuning into your body and intuition and stepping into people's shoes before judging. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny though, because like I also lack water, but I find I have a better time like putting myself in other people's shoes than like processing my own emotions. Like
exactly.
yeah,
like I am
really
so
compassionate and like empathetic in that way.
I'm so
Yeah.
dissociated from my own emotions, but I can easily feel other people's emotions because, you know, we're so empathetic. But like when it comes to giving advice to others and extending compassion to others, that part is not so hard. But when it comes to like being kind to myself and taking care of myself, that's where I'm like really not good at that part.
Yeah,
I
That might
agree.
be
Same with
that might be
me.
trauma compared to the chart, because like even from my past,
That's air. That's air. That's
What?
air. That's like exactly what air. What I want to say really quick, Trey, is that was a weird thing I just read, because what you guys have air in your chart, and air is actually perspective, being able to put yourself in other people's shoes. I think more of what it was trying to say, I just said it kind of poorly, is like, it's like putting yourself, like feeling like figuring out how to have compassion. But I don't know why it said putting yourself in other shoes, because that's exactly air. Like air, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, they're amazing, and that's like why they're so good at socializing in business, and why Aquarius is so humanitarian, because they just can really put themselves in other people's shoes. So that's kind of my view on that.
Yeah,
It's kind of
I agree.
weirdly written. What are you saying, Trey?
I feel like a lot of the time my dissociation from my own emotions comes from trauma and has nothing to do with my chart. But then the air will amplify it, where instead of, so there'll be an intense emotion, right, that I'm trying to look at, that's here, and then I'll be my air will produce a fantasy world to avoid the emotion, and it'll give me space and take me away. But what that does is that the emotion just gets louder and louder and louder, and then until the fantasy world shatters. And then when the fantasy world shatters, there's a bigger drop, because all of a sudden reality breaks and I'm back in this huge emotion that's screaming to me. So yeah, the practice that I've been doing with that is to look every day, to look at those places when I'm waking up and at the end of the day, and even in the middle of the day, is to look at the places that really are calling to me instead of trying to fabricate and look away.
Yes.
That makes so much sense to me, because I definitely have some problems with escapism due to trauma. So I can definitely relate to what you're saying.
Yeah, I can too. That's definitely part of that whole thing, but it can be amplified by certain energies. So just to find ways to try to cope with trauma alone is tough enough. But if you've got something that adds to it, you know, then it's even more of a struggle, of a way to try to find ways to, you know, live around that.
Jesse, can you tell us when you're gonna take a freaking picture? Because you did me dirty again. I hate your pictures of me. You suck.
I'm a sneaker, guys. I'm a sneaker.
A running shoe.
Yeah, I think I was drinking some water.
look at me. Look how normal I look. Look at me. I'm just like so ready. Oh, yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm so prepared. Really just like honestly, like, yeah, maybe I'll tell you guys. Trey looks like a mouse because of the lighting in his room. Yeah, sorry, Chanel. I caught you mid speech. Maybe the next time I'll be like, picture,
yes, please.
and then take it. I don't want to interrupt. Yeah, okay. I'll keep that. I'll remember that. No, I won't remember. I'll try. Anyways, that was a perfect segue though into what's up with having a lot of a certain element. You know, like what happens? Because I was thinking, do you guys know anyone who has too much water?
I have so much water.
I call them my watery bitches.
You do. My watery bitch. Payal, yeah, you have basically a grand, like an elemental grand trine, but not with the degrees. Yeah, you have a planet in each, or a point in each water sign. So Mars in Pisces, Sun in Cancer, Ascendant in Scorpio. No, the sun, look, there's an 11-degree difference between the Mars, which is 27 Pisces. If the Mars is a few degrees lower than it would be, but it's kind of elemental.
Elemental
it's still,
is still supportive. Yeah, that's supportive energies, which that's a good thing. That means that you are very compassionate, and you can always empathize, because that's the difference in what you were trying to explain about, like being able to see in somebody else's shoes. Like, I feel like that's an intellectualizing it, which is different than empathizing with someone because you have been there yourself, you know? And so that's probably a strong suit for you, or it's easy for you to be vulnerable with others in that relating. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I usually just like, strangers talk to me all the time because I talk to them, like when I go my walks, and they'll just tell me everything. And like, I was on my walk the other day, and there was an 88-year-old man. This is by himself. Just spoke to him. It was like cold, but it was nice. And he was just talking about, you know, he's divorced and he had 2 sons, and his ex-wife had taken his other son away. He's like, I think about him still. And I'm like, you should write to him. And I'm like, just write to him a letter. I'm like, he's like, I don't want to talk to his mom, but maybe I should do that because like, he just like he's like, I have always wanted to do something, and I've been thinking about my life, especially during this pandemic, living by myself. And he's like, I just feel like talking to you. Most people just like tell me like everything, but I find like a lot of water, like any kind of emotion leads to crying. Like if I'm angry, I will cry because I'm so angry and I can't. I just like am very like I'm a child in most cases. It's like a lot of people don't want to like yell at me because they don't know I'll cry, but like I'll be like still, and they'll be like tears. I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like a child, they're like, you're so cute. I can't get mad at you, and that's a bad thing. I find that's it.
Mael, I wanted to say something about you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's interesting when you combine the astrology with the human design and explains another part of the human matrix and like about who we are, you know. And it's interesting that like major human beings are under emotional authority in the human design, which means that you basically in your life can make the decisions in the right way only when you're in emotional clarity. And it's not gonna work for everyone. And you can think, well, that makes sense. Like everyone, you know, when you're emotionally clear and you cool down of the emotional wave that you've been taken by, and then you made that decision. And it can take actually weeks, it can take months, you know, it's crazy. But so like whenever you talk about yourself, and I've seen in astrology charts full of water, it very often leads to emotional authority. In a human design, and emotional authority and the right decision making is based on the emotional clarity. So which means you can never basically make the right decisions when you're under the emotional pressure. It can be any type of emotional pressure. It can be, it's basically you're taken by the emotional wave.
Yeah.
So when you're taken by the emotional wave, you should always try to avoid making decisions. And it's kind of like, it's logical, but at the same time, it just makes so much sense of people that I know who has this emotional authority. And it's very often in those who has the a lot of water in their chart.
Hold on.
But it can be also like a lot of fire and stuff, you know. Have you ever, I'm actually just curious, like I would want to make your human design chart and see what it is, but I'm almost like positive 100% that it is the emotional authority. What would you say? Would that be the correct thing? Like if you are emotionally clear and you're in peace of mind and you make the decision, that most likely that's going to be correct for you. And if you will make decision out of your emotions, it's usually never going to be the same after the day, after the week, or after the month.
Yeah, I usually take, anytime I get like a response, like a message or a call or something happens, usually I just take a breath and not like react, or I just take some time before I say anything. And sometimes it's like the space, because in most cases it's that person who needs to clear. And like I can, like if I was to say something to someone, I can ruin their life. Anger and
that is
the worst.
Okay, so this is exactly this is exactly what I was saying. So it's the emotional authority that so it's crazy. Like I've met so many people, and it's funny because yeah, I don't know, like these all sciences, they are all combined in some way, and they're all just matching there. But like, it's so funny how it shows the other perspective of it. And like my daughter, she's very water sign heavily, and very much emotional authority. And then that's the hardest thing for a human being who is out of the emotional authority acting, is to actually sit in that emotion and say to yourself, okay, let me just hold this space right now. Let me just wait. Also, because you're very spiritually evolved, you will definitely be aware of it. So being aware of it, that already reduces so much of the bad outcome, you know? And it's, yeah, it is like that. And it's crazy how much it explains, you know. And it can be a very difficult place to be at, to wanting to actually outbreak and wanting to make those decisions in that fucking moment when you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna be like, rah, yes, let's do this shit. And then the next day you wake up and you're like, fuck, maybe shouldn't have done that, you know? And it's not like that for everyone, honestly, guys. It's not like that for everyone, but emotional authority is a big damn thing. And once you know it, it's super easy to, I mean, it's not easy, nothing is easy, but when you can know it, like astrology, when you can know your weakness, when you can know your strength, you can like fucking work with it like in a big way. It's like the big weapon in your hand. And it's just like up to you. You decide whether you want to go for the weakness or whether you want to go for the knowledge and for the thing that, you know, okay, I know this, I can actually work with it. So yeah, sorry guys, I just out of nowhere, just randomly.
Wait, do I have that? Is that mine too for human design? Because I have all mostly fire and water.
I have a look, Jess, I will have a look, okay? Because I don't remember right now, but you're a generator, but you can be an emotional generator, so that's also going to be emotional authority. So let me have a look and I'll let you know.
Okay. Thank you. Interesting, guys. So what's your reaction to that, Payal?
I agree with that for sure. I agree with that. But I think like with like most people, it's like that though. Don't you find? Or no?
No.
It's
okay. I don't know. But I find I take things a lot of things personally too. But that's why I have to take the space, because then I take things too personally, and I have to like, before I like react and think like my worst case scenario or like my lower thoughts, I'm like, this is not like coming from like a higher perspective. So
please don't take it personally at all. Whatever I say, it was meant just to be like in a space of understanding. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Like it's nothing bad. Like anything is not bad. Do you understand? We are here just to understand us. We understand each other. There's never a judgment. Like everybody, we are all different. Okay, so that's why we're here, just to understand ourselves better and to share that thing, to share that vulnerable side of us, because we all have it and nobody's perfect. There's no such thing. Like that's why we're human, you know, and that's the beauty of it. And what I was just saying about emotional authority, because I know people so close in my life, and if I can share with it, I mean it in a good way for you to just actually gain from it. There's totally nothing judgmental. There's totally nothing personal. And 55% of humanity is the emotional authority based. So that's why you say, oh, isn't it like all of us like that? Yeah, it's going to be so many people that you know that will be actually emotional authority. So many. So there's nothing.
I'm the sacral authority, emotional authority. I'm a generator too, a pure generator. That's all I know about mine. But
that's the sacral authority. The pure generator is the sacral authority is different than emotional, but it can be like very similar. But it's a bit different in a sense. Yeah, but similar way. Yeah.
But similar. Okay, I'll have to go look at my chart again and see.
But we can. Yeah.
No, you go. For me, when it comes to emotions, that's when I am best at replying. So it's like, because normally my emotions, my water, when it trickles into interpersonal relationships or over phone or text or messages, it's like so not there that it's like most of the time I won't reply because I have no connection or like emotional investment to it. But then when my emotional body comes through, then I love to reach out and message, and I feel like I can reply intimately and take the space and do that. So it's like I don't have the overflowing of emotion. Okay.
I mean, like if you want to take it in, it's like just a perspective of human design. So those who doesn't have the emotional center defined, yeah. So there are 9 centers that they can be defined or not. So if it's not defined, so it will actually follow the emotional wave. So basically, like in astrology, we have the transits going around that we all experience, you know, and we all experience in different way. In human design, we are going through transits. So if you are not emotionally defined, means that you can experience the emotional waves through these transits. So whenever there is emotional center activated, you will be able to experience that emotional wave, which will lead you to that. Or you will meet a person who is emotionally defined, and it will activate your undefined center. So like, let's say, imagine 9 centers, one of them is not defined. That's the emotional one. If your emotional center is not defined, with whoever who has the defined center, you will be in touch, it will activate. If you'll be with somebody who is not emotionally defined, but there is the transit going, this emotional wave going on, which is right now going on, by the way, just to let you know, all of you, then you will be able to experience that emotional wave, and you will suddenly have those feelings that you don't have, but maybe then the next week or maybe the 2 days after, you're suddenly not having it anymore. And then you will wonder, like, why? Like, oh, so I had this, but then I don't have this anymore. It's because that's the transit that was going through, and you are able to experience that emotion in that moment, but it will just pass because you simply don't have it in your chart defined. It's not something that you will constantly go through. Whether there will be another people who will just constantly go through emotional wave and always go through emotional wave. And someone's just going to say, oh, I feel this way. I'm just so taken by it. And then your friend is sitting in front of you like, what are you talking about, mate? Like, don't get it. And it's like, well, because you simply can't get it. And you can only get it when you will go through that wave. And this is the way, this is the you know, it's mechanics, the human mechanics. And it's totally normal when you can be friends with someone, but they just simply can't feel the same fucking way that you can feel. And it's fine, man. Like, it's fine. You don't need to be not friends just because they can feel it. They can say, man, I'm sorry. Like, I don't understand really what the fuck are you going through, but like, okay, I can accept it, you know? I can accept it. We have values in common, but we just, you cannot understand me, or I cannot understand you. Like, that's normal. We are designed in different beings. And what makes us amazing is that we pair up with those differentiation. I don't know, I can't pronounce it. So like, the difference is what makes us complete, you know? And how often you're going to meet someone who you will have something so in common, but something totally different. And why you're friends, there will be activated channels that they're going to be like spikes, and they will just make you become together. So you can activate something together that you will never experience by being separate. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel that a lot. Although that's typically with like over device communication. Although when it's in person, that comes up similarly, except I feel the emotions, but then there's no verbal connection to it. So I can't connect with it verbally, but I can connect with it intimately through touch and through touch pretty much, and eye contact. But then if I feel like I'm not close enough with that person to do that, or that person has issues with that, then I start to feel really out of place. Like I'm like, I can't say anything, but I just want to hug you and I want to kiss you and touch you, but you're a man and you won't let me do that because it's this day and age and you still haven't worked through that. And you know,
yeah, so because you have your sacral channel defined, or it can be spleen. You know, there's all these 9 centers. So whatever center you are defined, this is the where you are going through in touch with other people. So like if the emotional center is not defined, you will not be able to go through it unless there will be the wave coming in. And then the other channels you're defined with, so it's either detached or it's either something else, and so on. You know, I'm not going to go deeper into that, but like, yeah, it's something like different than astrology, which is at the same time connected very much with astrology, but it just kind of shows another perspective. And for me, it made so much freaking sense when I started to go into it. It just gave me the other side of astrology that kind of like couldn't straight away answer me those questions. So I think in any sense, like any knowledge, anything that you know on the top of astrology, it's always helping you. It's always just kind of like, you know, linking those loose ends or whatever. It just gives you the answers. I might be wrong, but it's just personally for me, it just gave me a lot of understanding of something that I just simply didn't fucking understand, like by, you know,
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, I love the way that's worded and the all those theories. It makes a lot of sense.
Guys, anyone has anything to add to it? Like, I don't know. Sorry if I just went deeper into, like, I mean, I hope just like anyone can get any of it. And if you have any questions about your charts or something, like, you can always message me. You can always talk about it. It's just because it's too long to, you know, to discuss every single person's chart or like look up it right now. But yeah, if anyone wants anything, like, honestly, it's not a problem. I'm always, you know.
Yeah, I'll definitely talk to you, because I've been like scratching the surface with human design. I still don't really understand too much. Like, I know I'm a manifesting generator and like 1/3, but that's like all I know. I don't know what that means. I don't know how to like interpret that. But
we should have a Zoom meeting, one of the Cosmos, just be about human design.
Yes, that'd be so
down,
cool.
If you're down to show us, Agni.
Yeah, it's not a problem, guys. I'm gonna be going back to work in full time very soon. Let's do it in a future, let's say like in closest 2 weeks if it's possible, because otherwise I'll be my ass is gonna be on fire. I'm not gonna fucking have the meeting time anymore. I'm so sad, but I guess, you know, everything has its right timing in life. So if we could squeeze it in the next few, like, let's say week and 2, I would be more than happy to share with you whatever information I have. I'm super happy. And Kendra has her own thing about Hellenistic astrology, and it's beautiful as well. I've been in touch with this a little bit. So yeah, it's fucking interesting. I think everyone is just so curious about anything that is, you know, something new, some new perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know enough. I have that book, that human design book from the guy that did the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, his book, and I've got the tarot cards that go with it that teach you the I Ching and everything with the cards. And I've read maybe half of it, but I haven't finished it because it is very in-depth and detailed.
It's heavy.
Like learning astrology, you know, it's like it takes so many layers and layers and layers. So I was trying to blow through it really quickly, and it was not a fast read. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to kind of take my time doing this. So
it's crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's, I totally agree with you. Like, I remember first time I saw something about human design was in 2009 or 2008, and my mom showed me, and it was in Russian, in fact, because where I'm from in Latvia, there are like a lot of people in Russia, by the way, like they're very knowledgeable about human design. And she just showed it to me, and I read Russian and write, but it was just not like soaking up in my head. I was trying to like gain that knowledge, but it was just so fucking difficult to understand. It was not understandable. So many difficult terminology and stuff, you know. And now in the past years, I've seen so many people who are so into human design, and they're really willing to understand it, but it's just like so complicated in the way that they explain it. So they basically need people who are the translators, who can actually just take it out in an easy way. Like nowadays we have astrology and people who make memes about astrology and funny videos and shit like that, and cool stuff that just makes you understand things in such an easy way. Just like a translation, you know, like easy thing.
Right.
Because not everyone is meant to understand this, like blah blah blah, this thingy then you know, like physics or chemistry. Like not everyone has the left mind. So it's another thing in a human design to explain that the left-minded people and the right-minded people. So why the, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of you heard about it, you know, how the mind works and so on, you know. so yeah, I like the movie Kabi, by the way. So yeah, so it's just it's fucking interesting. It's like a lot of lack of people who could actually give it away in an easy way, and there's so many people who are trying to gain the actually their income on that right now, and finding their ways. I've seen in internet, like a lot of people on Instagram actually, you know, trying to sell it to people, like, oh, you see, like I got this easy way and stuff like that. So yeah, but no worries, guys. Let's do this. If everyone is up for it, I don't mind. Whoever wants to, like Jesse, any one of you, like fuck it, let's make it. You know, one of these days in 2 weeks.
I'm so down.
We can have it be the next Cosmos, or yeah, I mean, it could just be the next Cosmos. I don't see why not. I mean, that sounds like an interesting thing. I mean, and I'm sure there's there'll be a few people. It's just a little bit different. I think it's nice, you know. And I want this group to be like we're learning different kind of interesting shit.
Yeah, and it does incorporate astrology, because they look at the chart of 88 days before the day of your birth.
Yeah, subconscious mind and the conscious mind, yeah.
So we can, you know what I mean? Like we can, you know, build into the astrology part of it, you know.
That would be amazing. Sweet. Well, cool. We will do that. For now, let's hit these things. So we were talking about having a lot of water. I guess me and Payal would both be in there because I also have my Mercury, water, Mercury, Sun, and Jupiter in water. So there's, you know, we got
Same here,
three
by
each,
the way.
but Payal's is more like.
I'm also Mercury.
Okay, so we got 3 on Team Water.
Yeah, water, yeah.
Oh, you have Scorpio, Sun, and Mercury. Or Scorpio, Sun, and Mercury, Scorpio?
So the Sun is in Scorpio, Mercury is in Scorpio, and Jupiter, you mentioned Jupiter. My Jupiter is in Cancer.
Oh yeah, we have the same thing going on. So yeah, so I think one thing for me with having all that water, and this is really important and also my Chiron's in Cancer, that doesn't really count, but like, and I read this when I was learning about Chiron and Cancer, and it resonated so much, and it was, to be a healer, to be someone that you can actually use this water in a constructive way, you have to learn the lesson, and it usually takes time, especially it's probably difficult earlier in life, to not take all of, like you basically are a sponge of energy when you have a lot of water, and you feel so much. So it's essentially like how to be able to help people by not taking all their shit, all their negative energy. That's like one of the huge lessons, I think, for me and for a lot of people that I've talked to that have a lot of water, is learning that lesson of how I can still sit with someone. Like for me, it's like if I have a client or someone that comes to me with a really intense situation, right? Just sitting with that and not reacting, not taking it, like feeling that, you know, what's it called when you experience someone else's secondhand trauma, right? And still know, because I know, like I used to think that if I don't, or maybe unconsciously think that if I don't feel, really, really have compassion, like really take so deeply what they're going through that it means I'm not being authentic enough, or it means I'm not feeling it deep enough. But really, it's like you're only gonna be able to truly help someone when you can, yes, feel it, but not take it for your own, you know, because if you take it for your own, you're just gonna be kind of fucked. You're gonna be hurt. If you're a psychologist or a counselor and you're working and you're just taking all the sad things your clients are saying all day, you're gonna be fucking fucked by the end of the day. You're gonna be so out of energy, right? So it's like learning to do that. And a big part of that with water is understanding boundaries, understanding that you need alone time, right? It's not just water, but especially Pisces, where the boundaries are all fucked up. It's like, I think, you know, air and water definitely need tons of space, right? So knowing that and understanding how can I create my life to where my need for space, my need for being in my own energy is met. And that's been a huge thing for me. And I finally kind of figured it out, you know, and it's taken some time. I'm wondering if anyone else resonates with that, even, you know, from the water or even the air perspective. I think a lot of Aquarius, for example, will need a lot of space, right? In Sagittarius.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so with the Aquarius and the Sag needing space. It's funny because like my partner's like so fucking Sag and I'm very Aquarius and with the Sag moon. So I'm at the point now because like we moved in together in October and I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. Like go away. Like he's actually going away to work soon. So I'm like, like I'm gonna be alone for a couple months. And like most couples will be like, oh my God, that's so sad. But we're like, see you in a couple months. Like
Lucky.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I wish I had that.
Yeah, I was like
just
yelling
1
at
month,
him because
just 1 month.
Right. Well, that's the thing though, and it's like obviously as soon as he leaves, I'm gonna be like, oh, where are you at? But it'll be good for both of us, I think, in terms of like I find I grow a lot more and I get a lot more like personal work done when I'm by myself, not attached.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you said, Jesse. Like with the boundaries, especially, like it was such a tough time to create boundaries for myself with people, and like I was taking on so much of their energy too, and then I would just get like back pain all the time. I was feeling so weak, and then I would just not want to talk to anybody for like 4 weeks, and I would like, I just like don't communicate with me. Like I will not reply to like messages. It's just like too much because it just took like too much out of me. Like really taking time not to like take it all in and putting up those boundaries, or just like I would just put my phone like on the moon, whatever the moon is, because I'm like I can't. Like on my weekends, I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to like focus on myself and like take care of myself, and like that's it. Or like during work time and stuff like that. So, and I think like I was making myself feel guilty most of the time by like not being available, and like I'm like, no, like I have to like make sure I take care. I have to, like make sure I take care of myself and focus on myself. If I'm giving this advice to everyone else, like fill your cup up first, I'm like, I should be doing the same thing. So that's me constantly like, I'm like constantly validating my own actions all the time. Like, I should do this. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So like things like that is just, but with so much water, I find like, it's like I get so lost. I not like lost, but I like just being on my own. I'm like in the submarine. I was like being kind of solo. And then when I feel like, oh yeah, let me come up for air, like I can do it. And it's nice. It's nice. And you're kind of like on your own route, in your own path,
Yeah, it's like ketamine. You want to be in a nice comfy bed by yourself. Some nice music.
Yeah. So
or not on ketamine. Fuck that stuff.
I don't know what ketamine is. What is ketamine?
Horse tranquilizers.
Horse tranquilizer.
It's a drug. It's like, yeah, but it's turned into a party drug, but it's really.
I know hardly anything. Like when people are talking, I'm like, I don't even know this. I've never tried this. I've only tried marijuana. That's it. That's all.
I'm gonna slip it in your drink when I see you. You'll have a fun time.
Okay.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah. I just picture Dwight Schrute from The Office, like.
That is me.
Oh, fuck.
So quickly, guys, this is what it says in that article about lots of water. When you have a lot of water signs, you can be fearful, insecure, or hide behind others. Also, I want to say quickly, like, you have to really like know. So for me, I have a lot of water, but I also have a lot of fire. So this doesn't really. You have to think about like your other ones too, right? Yeah. So you can be fearful, insecure, hide behind others. Work on establishing trust and widening your comfort zone. Sharing even when you're scared. When you feel out of place, nurture or volunteer, and you'll feel more ease. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So being of service, like that's another thing with people that have a lot of water in Pisces or 12th house, is that you actually, and I was saying this today actually, not even about astrology. It's like, I feel best when I'm being of service. It's like it's just like, that's the best feeling. That's like when I actually feel, I don't know how to describe it. Like when I'm helping people in some way or doing like something that's non-egotistical, like that's when I genuinely feel the best. Right. And I think that's a very Piscean thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like Virgo too. So it's like that same access, like the selfless service, you know?
Yeah, it's my North Node's in the 6th house also in Aquarius. Yeah. But yeah, so that's another thing with water. But I'm curious if anyone felt any of that sentence or if it was just another shitty sentence.
I can agree with you so much, like that, being in service and water sign, and actually very much the sixth house in general, it's always being in service. So if anyone has more than one planet in the sixth house, you're definitely going to be working with service wise shit and stuff. Hello there, I have like fucking stellium in the sixth house. So I just
is your Venus?
serve all my life. And like when I do something for others, I just feel so fucking satisfied. It's crazy. And some other people will be just like, no, I just want to have my own business. I just want to be the boss. And I totally understand. And it's so cool. But I was just not born to be there, you know, and I understand it. Like I am of service. I have to be of service. And I think the best thing is like when you see it and then you just accept it. Because if you don't, if you just kind of like want to fight against it, then no, because the measures are made in the world we live. It's like, yeah, me, and then you need to be successful and you need to do this and that and that. But you can also be successful if you just follow the way your planetary, you know, what you were meant to do in this life. If you do serve others, that's great and that's super good, and you're in the right place. So yeah.
Wait, are you speaking of? You're speaking. I think you're speaking of being of service more like from a. That's interesting. I guess what I was meaning by being of service, I guess that's more of an American kind of thing. Being of service, it's like kind of like more humanitarian. Like I should have specified, like being more of service to the people, that's kind of what I mean.
Yeah, that's
like selfless energy.
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Yeah,
okay.
That's exactly what I meant. Even if I mentioned the business, okay. And so I meant like in general, being of service. There are like so many things that you do in general in life that being of service of others. So maybe I didn't give the best example, but I meant exactly what you meant, being of service of others.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, guys, if you have Venus in the sixth house or Jupiter there, you love pets. I have Venus in the sixth house.
I have
you guys know me with my cats.
Maybe possibly.
I have Venus in Virgo, but I don't have
that's
the
sixth
house.
Yeah, that's the same.
Chanel, you have that too, right? Venus in Virgo.
Yeah,
I do.
And I do love the animals. I want to get a micro pig one day.
Oh,
a whole farm
yes.
of micro piggies.
I want all of the animals.
I know. Oh, sweet baby.
You would
Felix.
No, Felix, yeah.
Oh no, that's
good
not
job.
in the sixth house.
I love
the big boy.
Yeah, I can't remember if I was high or dreaming, but I had a dream where I had a little Siamese cat like Jesse's when I was much older, like 28.
This is Yonella's cat.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, so sweet.
He's 7 kilograms. This cat. How many pounds?
Maybe I'm gonna steal your girlfriend and take the cat.
Jesse, I think he ate too much sushi in his life.
this boy, no, he's huge. He loves
does
food.
have a big old Buddha belly.
But he's such a good boy, and he loves to play ball. And he's like a dog. He's been a dog in most of his past life, so he's kind of like not really used to being a cat. And he literally brings me the ball, and we play fetch down my stairs every single night. He's a big belly boy, a big belly dancer.
We started
talking
about cats, and my cat like perked right up and looked real salty. Like, you're talking about cats, but it's not me. Asshole.
Cheating.
Come here. He's right here.
Yeah. Oh, cutie alert.
Another kitty and Agnes.
So I guess.
Aww.
Yeah, the black cat. All right, black and white.
Oh,
cool. Little Scottish
tabby.
Caesar.
He looks like a Leo.
Who? Caesar?
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know his birthday, but you know what? He might be, because I thought he was, because of the information the person I got him from, I thought he was like between a Libra and a Scorpio. But
what's your Venus sign?
Mine? Pisces.
Yes.
That cat's
I think it's a Pisces.
So, colors are so
Yeah.
cool.
I just said that intuitively, but
yeah, well, his birthday
Jacqueline will know.
Been like not long before Christmas, because they said that they got him around Christmas time, and he like was still like a baby kitten, like just leaving his mom. So that's why I was like thinking he was between like close to the cusp of like Libra and Scorpio or whatever. But anytime, it's weird because
Scorpio.
like anytime like somebody's talking about Leo, he fucking like comes up. And like my daughter had a reading with Dave, and as soon as we got to Leo, he came over and like started like chilling, and I was like, "Are you actually Leo?"
Like, or are you just representing the cat race?
He's such a little baby.
Yeah, they're all
I know,
cats
right?
are definitely Aquarius Leo.
Yeah.
The Aquarius Leo axis
for sure.
is so cats.
Yes, they are.
I wish there was more like
Totally.
ancient Egyptian documentation on what they really were seeing in the cats. You know, like, because I see it too, but I'm really curious to have their perspective and take on it.
Well, the story that I've
Probably
always
like
heard
tripping
is
out
about the cats being able to hang around with the pharaoh, and then if someone came in to meet with the pharaoh, he would see how the cats reacted to this stranger and then read if I can trust this person or not. So I know there's accounts of that with the pharaohs used in them. I also know that it used to be punishable by death if you killed a cat, because the only people that were able to kill cats were the priests that were sacrificing them to Bastet, or any of the gods that were cat like. So that's all I know about it. That's interesting though. I would like to know, because I think they really do like have a different view of humans. And
I've heard somewhere that cats, like, we didn't domesticate cats the same way we did like with dogs and other animals. Like cats were just like, oh, you guys are all right, and just like started hanging out with humans. I don't know if like the validity to that, but I was like, well, that's fucking cool and it makes sense. Like,
yeah, it totally makes sense. They're only around us because we feed them. It's not like dogs.
They domesticated us. Like,
yeah.
I actually have a pretty cool story about a cat. So I would go over to my friend's house. Like, it was kind of their house was 5 girls, but it was so open. Like, they would just leave their doors unlocked and anyone could just stop by. And I went to go visit my friend Hannah, but she wasn't there, and I ended up messaging her, and she'd be like, oh, I'll be home in like 40 minutes. And I ended up falling asleep on her bed. But what happened was I went into sleep paralysis. And when I was in sleep paralysis, the cat was looking right at me, and we communicated on a telepathic level in sleep paralysis. And then I was like, do you want to come? I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'm in sleep paralysis. That means I can just jump out and go into my astral body. So I was like, do you want to come on an adventure with me? And the cat like turned around, like pretended like it wasn't interested. But when I astrally projected into this other dimension, the cat came with me, and it was like freaked out. It was like, what, like where have you taken us? And there's like this really weird dimension where there was these giants in the distance, and everything was huge rock formations. But the cat was not having it, and it just kind of like did a spin and went back. And then it was just me alone in that place. So.
That's interesting. I wonder if it would have been like a dog or a rabbit, if it could have happened too. Like, have you done it again with anything else that's not a cat?
I've astral projected quite a few times with my dog. Like, sometimes my dog's sleeping in my arm, but she never comes along. I feel like she's, I don't know, dogs I feel like go into really deep relaxation, but I don't know about the astral projection aspect. I haven't seen that with my dog, and I've done it like over a dozen times with her around. So.
That's interesting.
I feel like dogs are more like the earthly protectors, and then cats are more like the spiritual protectors.
Yeah, maybe it does have something to do with that. Like.
Yeah. I feel dogs are very like grounded and very like earthly realm, but like they are your fucking loyal best friend, like protector, like they've got your back 100% here. But then cats are more like here, but then in the fucking spiritual realm, they're like, I've got you, It's like anytime I'm sleeping, and I like, especially if I'm doing like meditations to try and like project or anything, like my cat, I always wake up, like come back to or whatever with him like on my chest. Like he's like, no, mummy, like I'm here for you.
Well, maybe they have that ability naturally to like travel, you know?
I think
that
so.
would make sense that they're more aware of when we're doing it, you know? And like jumping in like he was with you. So that's interesting.
They're just so intelligent. Like if you just look at their eyes, it's like, I love dogs too, you know, it's just different. It's like cats have this spiritual, it's like this enlightened look in their eyes, but like they don't have language, but they just are like, I feel like they see spirits. I feel like they see so much we don't see just all the time. And yeah, I think with Trey's point, I definitely think that that there's just so much energy. Like I think when you have a cat in your house, they clear and cleanse so much of the energy, of the negative energy, you know?
Yeah.
And they do so much that we don't know. And you just have to look at a cat in the eyes. Like my cat Mika, like she'll just like stare at me. Like the love that cat has for me is like so, and back to her. It's like so deep, you know, it's like one of the deepest I've ever had in any way. And it's crazy. And I think cats get a bad rap, but cats are like, they're like the kind of people who are like, they're like very Aquarius, you know, they're like Aquarius. They're not going to give you Aquarius, I've known it's like, if you're not going to give them the time of day, they're just like, okay, fuck you. But if you actually invest in them, yeah, like if you invest in Aquarius, like they're going to be, you know, they're very loyal, and they're going to be, or not all the time, but you know, a lot of times they're amazing. And they'll go there. But if you're not showing interest, like people who don't show interest in cats, you know, the cats are like, okay, fuck you. I'm not going to show you any of my awesome gifts and awesome.
But if you show too much interest, they're like, I'll come to you on my accord. Like you got to find that medium.
Yeah. They're really aware that they're aware. You know what I mean? I think a lot of animals don't have that on such a heightened level as cats, whereas like humans, we are aware that we're aware, you know, we have that mirrored discourse. And I feel like cats have that same thing, as well as like dolphins, whales, and quite a few other animals. But
dolphins are so bizarre.
Look, he brings the ball over. Look, you see in his mouth.
Oh.
And then he drops it for me. Always the same ball. Every time. It's this broken yellow ball. There's probably 20 balls like this. And look at him. You'll see. Felix.
I thought you said he brings over Oliver.
Oliver.
There he goes.
He sprints down the stairs.
Wait,
and then he brings it back. He's a funny boy.
Fuck.
Anyways, Yamara, welcome.
Hello, Poppet.
What were you saying, Nia?
Just this is a proper fucking Aquarian cat. Like everything that you said, she's the Aquarius. Voila, look at me. Hey,
is that your cat? I didn't know you had a cat.
She's like proper Aquarius, like middle way, all the way up and down. She just do whatever like she wants.
What's her birthday?
11th of February.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we're almost birthday buddies. Mine's we're like 3 days apart.
Yeah.
I'm probably older, or that's a really cool cat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she's like super independent. Like I saw so many cats, but like she's super like Aquarius, max. If I would see her chart, I would be like, yeah, triple Aquarius. Super independent, crazy.
This is
just like Jessica described.
Cancer baby.
Happy birthday, Jessica.
Thank you. A few more days. All right, guys, let's get back on the road. So what's up with too much? Anyone have too much or a lot of fire, a lot of earth? I know, Kendra, you have a lot of fire, but earth, air? Anyone?
I don't think I have particularly too much of anything because I don't know, fire and air are the most dominant elements in my chart, but I don't think I have too much either because I have all 4 elements in all of my personal planets. So
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know. I guess what defines too much? I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be too much. Maybe just like a dominance. I would say like for me, 3 would be the number I would look for. But like obviously, like it might not be extreme. But if you have 4, I'd say that's in excess. But 3 is kind of limit, you know. So I'm not sure if you have 3 of anything.
well, I do have 4 planets in Aquarius, but 2 of them are generational, so it doesn't count as much.
Yeah, because you have Moon,
Jupiter,
Fire. Yeah, so you're I saw your chart. You're very, very balanced.
yeah.
So that's good. And even the water, yeah, you're like I think the only one I've seen so far that has all of them. What about you, Ziamara? Do I have your charts? Let's see. I do.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, I just did also. So let's see. You have obviously Earth covered. You've got your Venus and fire. So then air and water. You've got water, obviously. But where is the air?
Nope, no air.
No air. So 2 water because Jupiter counts as 2 water. So lots of water. So 1, 2, 3. Basically, it's like water and earth, but the earth is just the moon and the ascendant. And yeah, so lots of water. So yeah, you're kind of in the same camp as me and Ignia with having quite a bit of water, but it's like the sun, Mars, and Jupiter, and a good amount of earth. But no air. So yeah, we talked about. We can kind of go back to that, I guess, like about not. Did anyone else not have any air? I don't think so, right? Or Trey? No.
Me.
Trey.
I didn't have, I mean, I have generational planets. I have Pluto and Saturn and Libra, but that's it. So I don't have any air. And then the only water I had was the rising sign. Remember?
Yeah. So yeah, I guess with not having much air, it's what's a great, like what is something that helps people that don't have much air in that deficiency?
Be in the
What
air.
are some techniques?
Be in
What's
the air,
that?
like anything to do like with jumping, like let's say you're fucking
While you're breathing.
full and just like need to jump, like do something to do with the air. Like I don't know, I mean maybe these are not the best examples, but like even to do a fucking jump from the airplane or anything, like even flying in general, like fly, you are in the air. Everything is connected. Everything that is connected with the air can balance you out in that deficiency, you know. So anything regarding the air, any
Breath
type
work.
of flying, actually, fucking any
Would
type of
ziplining work? I mean, I can do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
I would suggest yoga, pranayama, breath work, and also maybe just like focusing on the intellectual side of things, like yeah, I don't know, maybe doing a lot of reading and stuff like that.
I do a lot of that. So like I said, I always find it in other people, usually like the intellect thing. And that gets me like, you know, excited, where I like connect. And it's more about like connecting to other people too. Like I have so much fire in my chart that I feel like sometimes I'm all about every project I've got going on that I forget to include others. And so that's been a big part of it too, is like creating a space where a group can be like very Aquarius. It's kind of shaking me up with all this Aquarius energy we've had, you know. So yeah.
I think, how do you feel about having a fire surplus? Because fire is the #1 element in my chart, and for me, I think it leads to problems with being reactive or having a lot of anger.
Yeah, I have a lot of the fire too, with inner planets and outer planets, and I just feel a lot. I mean, my moon's wrapped up with a lot of that too. So that's how it comes out with me, is intense emotional, you know, feelings. And then I feel like I'm out of control, you know, sometimes, because I'll be so anxious or so angry or so, you know what I mean? Like XYZ, you could name any emotion really. Even happy, I get so happy you know, just so inspired.
Yeah.
And so I feel extreme sometimes, like there's something wrong with me because I'm extreme. And I've had people tell me, you're too extreme, you're too much. You know?
I've been told the same thing, and
yeah,
people tend to pathologize that, and it's like,
yeah,
I mean,
they
what's
do.
wrong? What's wrong with feeling your feelings all the way? You know, you're just
All the
like, when
time.
you're
Yeah.
fire sign, you're kind of just like experiencing life so hard. You're like kind of, you know, like having a really intense human experience.
Yeah. I definitely feel very in touch with my emotions. And I don't know, like I said, if that's just like because my moon's part of that too, or if it's just the fire. But that's how it comes out with me, is with emotions.
You can also be really impulsive, right? I have a lot of problems with impulsivity myself.
Yeah, well, I have like Jupiter, my moon, and then Uranus, all real clumped up early Sagittarius, and it's trining my Mars in early Leo. So I can too. My like aggression can get to be, you know, assertive, and sometimes more than assertive, especially if it's over my beliefs or ideas being made fun of or something, because it's in the 9th house. My Mars is in the 9th house. So it's definitely been a struggle throughout my life. I think I told y'all I disagreed, you know, being raised in the Bible Belt, you know, that wasn't for me. And so, yeah.
That's also can be such a positive, such a strength when you're so strong in your beliefs that you can really be a champion for a cause. You can be very persuasive. You have the power of persuasion and being good at forming an argument.
Right. And for me, it's like I felt it in my spirit that it was astrology and nature and the cosmos that was my guides, you know. So I went with it and always stuck with that, which is a very fire sign type thing, especially fixed fire. Like Leo is kind of like rigid sometimes, but no, this is my way.
Exactly.
That can be like that too. So can Aries, you know, like very, which I have to watch out being dogmatic, because everything doesn't have to be my way in everybody else's lives. I just want my choice, my way, you know. So, but yeah, I do get angry at like society at large for certain things, and sometimes I feel like that's like a place for me to like focalize my energy so that maybe I can make change, you know.
I think you and I are the same in that aspect.
Yeah, we have all that Leo Virgo stuff going on. It's the same. We have the same birthday, so.
Funny, you kept saying my way, and now I've got that fucking Limp Bizkit song stuck in my head.
Isn't there also a Frank Sinatra song by that name?
I don't know it.
No.
I think there is.
Yes.
I loved that short, sweet yes. That was perfect.
So one other thing, guys, is another way this can be looked at is with yin and yang energies. And it's very, very simple. The yin are the water and earth energies, and the yang are the fire and air. So you can also look at your chart in that way. And even with like mutable, cardinal, and fixed, right? But I really think, yeah, I think the elements in my opinion are, this is just another variation of the elements.
Right.
You know,
so like an example would be like the fire and earth or fire and water. Like it would, or what are you talking about like that? Or are you saying like over like Aries to Libra, like fire and air, like complementing that way?
Oh, no. Like the yin is the water, like all the water signs and all the earth signs. And then, so for example, like an example would be like let's say someone has a bunch of water. Well, Payal, right? You have a lot of water and you have earth. So Payal's chart is very yin oriented and then when we look for fire and air signs, there's not much fire and air. So that just kind of complements it even further.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So the yin is very receptive, passive, creative, introverted, needs support, and the yang, proactive, driven, extroverted, take charge, lead. So that's just another way to look at these deeper. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that?
Yeah, what does your chart look like, Jesse, on that aspect? Because you have all of that like water, but then you've got like the fire too.
It's pretty balanced, honestly, because I have air, I have 2 air, 3 water. There's 7 in this one, right? Yeah, and then 2 fire. So it ends up being, yeah, just like more fire and air. So definitely more, yeah, this is actually something I go through a lot, where I do have this a little bit more yang than yin. And I feel like my Pisces, my Pisces energy kind of gets overridden a lot by like my fire and air energy that kind of work together more, like the Aquarius and Leo Sag. So yeah,
right, because that's all, more especially yang. Leo and Aquarius, that's fixed. Yeah, that's even more like hard to fight against if it's like that flowy Pisces type, just like it's like pushing you off to the side, like get out of here, go draw something.
Yeah, and the Pisces is so like, it's that real receptive, calm, kind of chill part. So sometimes the other energies can really like win over. So I really have to listen to that Piscean depth to really go with what's going to make me happy, grounded and stuff. It's, yeah. So I guess going back to having a lot, I just want to throw that in there. Have we said having a lot of air? I don't think so. Anyone have a lot of air in their chart? Or know anyone?
I don't know.
Hey.
Gabby.
Me. I can't really talk too much more about it than what I've already said though. Like I'm just all over the place all the time, hard to ground, like I don't know.
Yeah, here it says you can get scattered. Yeah, it says you can get scattered, be all talk, no action, work on being on time, keeping your word, waiting to share about your ideas until you have real results. That's what it says.
Yeah, that's very relatable for me. Yeah, I always say like I'm the ideas person, not the action person. Like I've got a lot of good ideas, but I have like such a hard time fucking like grounding them and like putting them into action. Like I have all this like, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna start that, I'm gonna do this is all great. But then I do it for 3 minutes and then I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Wow, I'm gonna do this now. Like it's fucked.
Yeah, no, but I always said I wish I had a job that was just to come up with ideas.
Yes.
Like that is all I like. And even with my brother, we were making this like skit movie for my dad. And I was like, okay, you take the laptop. And then I just start going off, like saying all the characters, all the lines for the show. Like, okay, this is what this person's gonna say. This is what this person's gonna say. You have to get this down. And like, even when I was a kid, I would be like, okay, let's play this game. Let's make this map and we'll draw this and we'll go over here and we'll be these characters and this is the world we're going to be in. And these are the magical characters that we're going to play with. And like, so ideas are always there, but then it's like, when it actually comes to making it into something concrete that you can show for something, it's like, I need executors. I need people to be like, okay, you do this, delegate, you know?
That is so funny. And like every best friend I've ever had has been an air sign. And most of my serious relationships have been air signs too, or their moon was in an air sign. And so that lack of air in my chart is being shown to me, like piggybacking on what she was saying before with the human design, like it's being shown to me with the people I surround myself with and have those like conversations that stimulate the intellect and whatnot. That's cool.
Yeah, I find another thing with being air too, like I mentioned earlier, like, and this is something I'm like really working on, especially right now, is like I exist in my fucking brain. Like I swear to God, I don't have a lot of action. Like my fucking space around me is just a fucking mess. I usually am pretty stagnant, but like I'm always exhausted because my brain is fucking going all the time. It's like 1,000,000 miles a minute. And like a lot of times I have a hard time like conveying what's in my brain because my thoughts are going so fast because it's just so much fucking air in my chart that it's like, this is where I exist. I have a hard time like existing outwardly. Like,
yeah, And I remember Angel saying the same thing, and he's got a lot of air in his chart too. Yeah. I remember him saying that sometimes those downloads are just coming, and that he can't even like verbalize them.
And it makes it hard to kind of like understand it even as a download, because it's like I just have so many fucking thoughts all the time. And it's like, honestly, until like connecting with like-minded people like all of you, like I was just like, oh, these are just random thoughts. Like I never really thought too much of it. But now I'm like, wait, no, like that's actually like, that's what people mean, because I have had like people tell me before that like I'm an open channel, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like how do I tell the difference between this voice and that voice and know what's what? And I don't know, like I've started differentiating it, but I still can't really like communicate it because it's just so fast and it doesn't really make a lot of sense when I try to verbalize it. Like,
yeah.
Body scanning might be helpful. Like in the beginning of yoga nidra practices, they first make you like tense different muscle groups of the body to relax, but then they ask you to go and visualize, like you have to put all your attention in your pinky and then your ring finger and then middle finger, and you have to go and put your attention in all those places. And what that does is it, because we get so stuck in our senses and in the head, that it pulls it out of that, and then you take the whole body, like, and I like, they don't do this, but I like to try and feel the organs and try to feel my blood and try to feel my heartbeat and kind of go deep in the tissue and really get into my body. And it's crazy how far away our feet are, you know, like how unaware I am of that low area of my body. It's because like the air always brings me up here, and I have to be like, wait, we gotta push back down and get my senses and everything again. Yeah.
That's good. I should start trying to do that because
maybe do it outside, like on grass or something.
Yeah.
Like stuff. When you're getting those downloads, maybe you could just like have your phone on record and just like stand on the earth and just like breathe and just like whatever kind of comes. And it's just recorded, so it's kind of this like you're not like sitting there multitasking and you just say it.
I also have this issue though. This is more like traumatic based, like trauma based, rather than like chart or anything. But like I have traumas directly tied to like self-expression. So even something like writing things down. Well, one, like my thoughts are too fast for me to like write down. When I'm speaking, it's still like I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. Like I need somebody to talk to like hear myself. I can kind of counsel better that way. But like when I'm trying to like spit out something, as soon as I go to say something and press record, my everything just goes blank. Like, but we'll get there. It is a good idea though. It really is.
Press record before, like just like have like an hour, just like
it just always just on. Yeah, well that's like my mom.
She's like, break your brain, distract yourself. Like if you know you're distracted easily, okay, press record and go watch a show. And then, or you know what I mean? Like, and then get yourself like, tell yourself you go and do certain activity or whatever it is, go make some tea, come back. I don't know, just do something to like distract yourself for a moment after you've already pressed record. And then what you were talking about, how you need to talk to another person to get that bounce back. That is you listening to the recording later on with a different perspective. That's when you get that bounce back. So, you know, just give yourself permission to talk, you know, and be okay with it.
Or you make a fake recording really that just says like, oh, yeah. And just that goes on for like an hour, and then you speak to yourself.
Yes, that's a great one.
That'd be funny to see.
Yes. Continue. Yes. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah.
Another thing about having a lot of air is that personally, I go really, really long stretches of time being single. Like I've been single for almost 3 years. And I think like, my longest relationship was like 5 months long. And I think I have a lot of yang, fire, and air. So for me, it's like I just kind of rebel against social conventions. I don't like this idea that well, you need to have kids and you have to be married by a certain age, and you have to conform to society's beauty expectations to attract a man. Like you need to wear makeup and you need to dye your hair, you need to have your hair done, you need to have your eyebrows done at all times, you need to do your nails, and you need to shave. and blah blah blah. I'm like, if you tell me, the more you tell me to do something, the more I'm gonna say no, fuck you. Like I will purposely
that
not
is your Mars and Leo, because I'm the same way.
It's Mars and Scorpio.
And Aquarius.
Aquarius
That's Aquarius energy to the
Yeah.
T, because I have Venus and Mars and Aquarius, and I'm exactly like that when it
Yeah.
comes to relationships and fuck the traditional way. It's my way, separate beds, give me my space.
Fuck
all
the
that shit.
patriarchy. And we're back.
Exactly. Trace fault.
We're back to that again.
Fucker.
Or didn't you guys say before that Trey freed the slaves?
No, Danny Mullen.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I don't know who that is. I was like, what are you guys talking about?
He's the
He's
most
best comedian in the world.
Oh.
Funniest guy in the world, in my opinion. Funniest YouTube
but
channel in the world.
he's the most
If you're into my hearing.
un-PC motherfucker that you'll ever meet. So if you ever are sick of PC culture, watch this guy, because it's
Not
just
PC,
like
bro.
so liberating in some ways.
I already asked.
He's so fucking funny. Just dark humor,
love
and
dark humor.
just it's amazing. Danny Mullen, you would love it if you like Trailer Park
Well,
Boys.
I have to. It's like I
Kinda
almost
similar.
have to like Trailer Park Boys by default because like represent, but like they put us on the map. But I like them up to like season
You would like
5,
it.
and then they fall off. But hey,
Yeah, it's a great show.
I'm gonna hop off, guys.
I'm an
I'm falling
optometrist.
asleep at the table. At the table.
Yeah, I'm getting tired too. But I guess we can kind of just talk about. So which one have we not gone over? My brain's like, ugh. Okay, water. We talked about when you have a lot of water, when you have a lot of air. And what about? Do we talk about when you have a lot of fire or earth? I know Kendra, you talked about fire.
Just not earth now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so having a lot of earth. Does anyone have this?
I don't know. Let's see.
Well, I don't think. I'm guessing people in this. There wouldn't be like a lot of people with a ton of earth in this group for some reason. Guess why? And there could be, people like especially with this generation with Capricorn. Lots of people were born with Capricorn suns or moons or whatever conjunct Neptune. So it kind of makes that sign a little bit different. But lots of earth. Sometimes people can be very fixated on tradition, security, very in the earthly kind of realm. And it can be hard for them to take that leap of faith, take that leap into spirituality. They're the kind of like lots of earth wants to have scientific proof. So they're the kinds of people that, will really have a lot of deficits in terms of getting to spirituality or something like astrology, because they're way more based on tradition. They live their life based on tradition and how things are. Not this is just like a bunch of earth, how it can be. Also, it can be really stubborn and really difficult for taking risks. And like taking on challenges. Sometimes they're very, very risk adverse. They can be the people that they just like, I was talking about for me how I need to take a little bit of earth to not spend that much, to not spend and stuff. For example, I'm good at that now. But like imagine earth, it can be very frugal, very hard to take risks, and very like kind of just like not wanting change, not willing to take risks.
Yes,
I guess.
and they can
we know those kinds of people. I think we all have
They
them.
can be, depending on the planet too, it could be slow in that area of life. Like if it's Venus, they could marry later in life, you can see that in some of the earth signs. Mercury, they might not go and I don't know, finished their high school or college education until later, if it was Sag or Mercury or Gemini, going back and forth, like schooling stuff. I don't know. I think that the earth signs are very good for stability and structure and like a sound environment where you can build more too. And I think that's where people look at all of the earth signs and think that they're materialistic when they're not. They can see the potential of I've laid this foundation and now let's make it better and now let's make it better, and like they continue to have that ambition to want to grow, just like a tree. It's just over a long period of time, the earth signs take longer to do something over a long period of time. So they're the ones who build their own businesses or their own empires or their own brand or whatever, because they're like consistently trying to evolve with the times, you know. But usually it's like a push and shove with them. I mean, my sisters, they're both, you know, Capricorn, and then her husband's very Virgo, and they have a lot of earth energy, and they've, you know, they've saved a lot of money and done a lot of things and built a lot of stuff for themselves. And, you know, they've worked and worked and worked. And I mean, like workaholics at times, you know, just like working their butts off. And so there's something to admire about that. But some people from the outside looking in would think that, oh my gosh, they just want the fame, or they just want the glory, they just want the money, they just want the power, you know. But usually it's like it defines something within them where it's like they set a goal and they got it. And so it really doesn't have to do with the outer world as much. It just shows like it is, because it's usually material gain that they get from this, that they create, because it's a material earthly thing, you know. It's not like spiritual progress like the water signs would be, you know what I mean? Like that's more of like the spiritual progress. You can't like show somebody that, you know, like you can't show them this thing you built like you can with the earth signs, where they actually like make stuff. Oh
yeah, like also they can be sometimes like if I'm around someone that has too much earth, I feel like there's sometimes a lack of imagination is something that comes up for me when I think about like people I know that have tons of earth. Like it's almost like this lack of imagination, and I feel like especially with like Capricorn, like heavy, like it can be a very heavy energy where like if you're someone that's like me, that's very mutable, likes to go with the flow, likes to kind of just be able to freely express yourself, it can feel like very like walking on eggshells, like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like kind of tough to really fully express yourself, and they can seem a little bit dry and boring sometimes. Not always,
Dry
just
and
sometimes.
cold, I think, are like the words for Saturn too, is like dry and cold.
Cold, yeah, I was gonna say the same. The coldness.
So yeah, you can feel like that.
But a little hint of earth, like Agnieszka's chart with her Capricorn moon, a little hint of earth can be very, very good in someone's chart.
Yeah, I love that. I've got the Venus and Mercury in Virgo. It's grounding for me.
Yeah, I have nothing. Oh well.
Nothing.
No earth.
My girlfriend, me and my girlfriend, neither of us have any earth. Her only earth in her whole chart is, our only earth in any of our two charts is her Saturn. Her only earth is her Saturn. That's it. Everything else is non-earth. It's crazy. So only one.
But it's good to be around.
Yeah, y'all are just some hippies, just living life. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
You know, society is the one who tells you there's something wrong with that.
Yeah, but I think you can gain the earth. You can gain the earth from people around you. Let's say if you have your friends who have heavy earth, you can always gain from them. No, like so you don't necessarily need it. Like so. Like someone who is missing out some element, if you have friends who have that, that's very valuable. That's why you need them in your life. Because, sorry?
Parents too. Like my mom's a Virgo.
Yeah,
and she's, I think her instilling like her Virgo-ness into me at a young, just like throughout the time I was growing up as a very mutable kind of kid, it stuck to me. And now I'm like, fuck, I feel kind of Virgo sometimes, you know?
Yeah, but you have Virgo, you have a Virgo house, Jess. You don't forget, you have few planets in Virgo house in the 6th house, which actually does balance you out. Like you say, you don't have anything in the earth, but it's not true, because your 6th house actually gives you the grounding energy, which is good and it's great, and it gives you the balance a little bit sometimes, you know.
And Saturn sextiles my Sun and Mercury. That's the big one, honestly. I'm saying I don't have I don't have Earth, but I am very, very organized, and house is always clean. So yeah, but it can go off the rails sometimes if I'm not careful. Huh. So yeah.
I actually have a lot of Earth.
You do? No, you don't. Really?
I have a lot of Earth because I was generationally like, so Uranus, Saturn is in the Earth. Then
I have that too.
my moon. Yeah, my moon is in the Earth. I mean, it's not that much, but like still 3 signs. But yeah, it's just one planet from the moon. So I mean, moon is very big. But yeah, then again we come back to the 8th house because it's in the 8th house, so it's the water. So and also like conjunct Neptune. So yeah, it's always changing. Like you say, like yeah.
Isn't your ascendant's 26 Gemini, right? Is that the right time looking at?
No, my
26
ascendant is
Gemini?
26. Yeah, the
Gemini,
ascendant.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I have all your stuff in the 8th house, but I guess different house system.
Yeah. That's something else. Yeah, but your 6th house definitely grounds you. You definitely have that grounding, like and also because the animals and stuff, that's very much of the grounding stuff. That's very much like earth, you know.
Yeah.
Even those people who don't have the earth, they like the animals. It's so much 6th house, so much Virgo energy and stuff. And the 12th house as well, the opposite.
Yeah, my ascendance is 2 degrees from Virgo too, so I'm cusper there. Sweet. Well, what else? This has been an interesting discussion, guys. Thanks for coming. I don't know why it was so few people. Probably because I don't know. Was there any? Did anyone say anything in the other group, like the main IG group? I probably should have told someone to post in there because I kind of made this last second.
Trey did post the chat. Like Trey posted the link in the original chat. So I don't know.
Yeah, a few people messaged me saying like, I can't make it because of this, but lots of random people weren't able to make it, or people that are usually here.
I know a lot
Hopefully
of people
that doesn't
like heavy, like emotionally just overwhelmed. So maybe they just like felt the need to, like, maybe some people in the group have just like felt the need to kind of like disconnect maybe for the week. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know, like,
it is what it is.
It's kind of fucking clusterfuck, and like if I was in the same state as I was yesterday, I probably wouldn't have showed up today. Like,
yeah. Well, it's gonna be. I kind of like that. I like that about this group because, it's different each week.
Yeah.
I think like so far, I think Gabby and Kendra, you guys have been at every one, haven't you? I should do a count. I don't think you guys. Hayal, you maybe missed a few. Agnia, you joined a little late.
I think I've been here every time since I joined, but I don't know. I missed the first couple because I wasn't here.
I've been Jess have been in all of them as well. I think Trey as well, actually. Even if we joined later on or something, like we've been in all of the meetings and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's been cool. Yeah, I think Gabby's has the most meetings. I'll do like a statistics, like a sporting standings thing. Number 1, number 2, like number 3. If I don't
show up without saying anything, I'm probably dead. Like, I have like huge FOMO.
Is that really? So so we know that. So if you don't show up, we should call the police.
Yeah.
And go to your address.
Probably, if I don't say something, because like if something comes up, obviously life happens, but I'm usually like always on. Like I said, I have like huge FOMO with like every aspect of my life, so like I'm always there. Sometimes I need to like remove myself, but I don't know how to do that yet.
Gabby's always watching.
Yeah, just call me, what is it, Big Ben, Big Brother? I don't know. Uncle Ben, no? Is that a name? Sam. Uncle Sam. Uncle Ben, that's a fucking rice.
Uncle Ben, yeah. Uncle Ben or Big Ben, the church. You can be Rice, that's cool though.
Yeah, right? Hey.
But yeah, I find it interesting that it's just like, for a while I was trying really hard, like messaging everyone before, not everyone, just trying to get everyone to come. But I don't know, there's some beauty to just like whoever shows up comes. I think we benefited a shit ton from this. I learned a bunch today, and I think everyone here hopefully did. Everyone that was
sorry if I kept
here
like
today.
derailing conversation with my fucking ADHD. Like, I do that a lot.
That's part of it. We all have that to some extent. I love it. I love when we just go down random
I think 100%.
Any final
out, so sometimes I'll like catch half of what's being said and respond to the half of what's being said instead of like the entirety, but hey, here we are.
It's all of us.
100% Jess.
I think I'm like
100%
that
Jess.
too.
It doesn't matter who is here, like who needs to be here. There's always the right timing for everything. And I think that every single meeting, no matter who was there, it was the right time for right people to be there and the right information to share. So it does not really matter. It's just like who needs to be here in that right fucking moment, in the right day, in the time, then we are there. And it's always great. It's always fucking great.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
it. I agree. I was thinking it might be kind of cool to have the next one on a Saturday, because I know there's a few people. I don't know if anyone would have anything against that, but I know there's a few people. Because it's Saturday day, it's not Saturday night. We're still fucking in COVID. I know there's a few people that like have like school or something where it's tough for them to make it work or whatever. I know both Mias, there's two Mias now. Both of them might be able to make it if I did it on a Saturday once. I don't know, just an idea. Maybe if you guys, anyone have any objections to that, or know anyone that wouldn't be able to make it on a Saturday?
No idea.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do that or something. Yeah, appreciate it. Well, cool guys. Any final comments?
Kendra, just add us to that group so we can do our
time.
Oh yeah. Okay. Who wanted to be added again? Who was it? Jesse.
Jesse, Payel.
Anybody else?
Chanel, I think Chanel wanted to.
Chanel's already in it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to be in it as well, Kendra, but I'm 100% sure that I can't be countable in probably in 2 weeks. So I don't know how much it would be valuable. Like in 2 weeks time, I would love to soak into that information that you can provide, but I'm pretty sure I won't be able to attend any meetings after 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's okay. It's no big deal. We're doing it over an entire year. Like we're just kind of journaling in our lives about this specific planet and how its archetypes and energies connect to us while it's our time lord. So you can literally do this at any time, you know what I mean? And just hop in and out if you want to. So if you have a break where you're so busy with work, you don't have time to do the journaling, don't feel bad. It's okay. Like I just wanted to keep it open for everybody, so we can all kind of learn from each other's personal intuitive responses and understand how it works on that side of astrology, So yeah, I can add you and you can feel free to chime in if you want, weeks from now or months from now. And if you don't feel pressured. It's okay.
Okay, thank you. I would love to join as well then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same. Well, cool. That would be awesome. So yeah, so next one will be on a Saturday.
Okay.
But I'll confirm it and stuff. I don't know. Is that confusing? Is that weird if I do that? Because I don't know if that'll throw people off. Whatever. Whoever's meant to be will be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But first I should check to see if the people that I know can't come on Sundays can actually come on Saturdays.
Maybe do a poll.
Yeah, we will see. I'll be in touch. What's up?
Maybe do a poll or something. But just try it on Saturday and see, and then do a poll or something.
I've had a few on Saturday, or we've had a few on Saturday. I forget why. It's like holidays or something like that. So yeah, we will see. But thank you guys. This has been cool and very interesting. I hope you guys learned some stuff and had a good time.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome outro.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Bye,
Well,
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
See you
Peace, love,
later.
all that fun stuff.
sleep tight, everyone. Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao. Ciao. Ciao.
Ciao.
Later. There we are. Didn't this happen last time?